And what's happening? Yes. Just happy that the fucking microphone is working. Couple of little slip ups there, but yeah, we managed to get live, and it's 4:22, and 4:22 is 4:22. So happy 4:20, everybody. Yes, guys, it's Sunday. We got a little bit of news there, all cannabis related, of course, mostly from Ireland, actually. This afternoon's news. Anything there from abroad? No, we're not catching anything from abroad, actually. But yeah, it's relevant anyway. Election time here in Ireland, so I suppose it is relevant that we keep the cannabis related news to Ireland. Get those comments into the hot box there anyway, guys. I see there's 10 of you out there, only about 4 or 5 of you has said hello so far. So, guys, don't be shy, yeah? Say hello. And if you're not already a member of our 24/7 hotbox there over in Telegram, guys, the link is in the description for anybody yet to join. Great community people over there, very friendly bunch, and if you're just sitting around bored alone sometime, just having a smoke, looking at the stars, and you just want to converse with some other like-minded people who might be doing something very similar as you, then no better place than the hotbox over on Telegram. Had to leave the door of the studio open here today so that we can get a bit of a breeze in here. It's fucking roasting here. The sun's beating down, and dog is after slipping on into the studio. What's happening, Rubble? Rubble's down there. I'm not even going to move the camera so you can see him. I see 420 talker out there. What's happening, 420? Says Story Martin. All good, bud? Yes. Oh, this is mighty here. We'll pack up a bowl here actually as well. We'll engage because it's 4:24 now, guys, and you know what 4:20 is for, yeah? Hey. Oh yes, yes, yes. We got some gelato in here, mixed with a bit of some haze, I believe. Where are you? You really want to sit? Hi, don't you? No. Right. There he is. There's Rubble. Hey, bye. Go on. Get out. Sorry, I had to throw the doggo out there, but I said I'd give you an all look at him there before he gets the boot. He was licking my toes. Daily Talker, Bhagwan Son, Constant, Gardener, what is happening, guys? Bobby is in the audience as well. Bobby, my man. Yes, looking forward actually to some Blackout Bobby there in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. Yeah, something to look forward to. We see Friendly Grower as well in the audience. What's happening, Friendly Grower? Yeah, how's your buddy's grow going? Yeah, all going good in his garden. Yeah. And Cork Herbal Products in the audience as well there, guys. And don't forget Cork Herbal Products. It is not only the guy who hooked us up with this beautiful bong here that we engage in civil disobedience with quite often, and we will be very soon here, actually. So it's he's also the guy who's got to deal with Starks and Bickle to distribute their products here in the lovely county of Cork and across the island of Ireland. So for anybody looking to invest in some Starks and Bickle products, I'm butchering that name, but anyhow, you know what I'm on about, yeah? The Volcano, the Mighty, yeah, the Medic. Well, Cork Herbal Products your guy, and not only for that, but also a lot of CBD products and all of that fun stuff too. So do look them up. And I believe there's a discount as well for the members of the Telegram Hotbox. So all the more reason to be a member over there, guys. Not just a friendly bunch, but friends with benefits. Temple Grower, what's happening, my bud? Temple Grower coming in there from over in Canada. Nice to see the audience, nice and international there today. As always, we normally get Temple Grower jumping in there, and we get Bobby there as well there from the New York side of it. So nice to see across the pond there being represented, both sides of the border, Canadian and American. We're definitely not jealous of you and what you got over there at all. Jeez, no, definitely not. Not green with envy at all. Oh, yes, with that being said, let's engage in a little bit of civil disobedience. As I said, today is a little mix of gelato and a bit of the one or not haze. Friendly grower as well says that his buddy says hi. All right, Podge. Hope it all is good down west there, Podge. But beautiful day to be down west. Actually, the sun is shining, blue skies all around. Yes, I know there's warnings there of thunder and stuff. So if a storm kicks off there over the next hour and I get kicked, I get interrupted. You know why. Studio gets hit by lightning. Cue the conspiracy theorists. The elitists taking you out, Martin. Their weather manipulations, using thunder and lightning to knock out the 420 news because of how powerful the messages that we carry here, huh? Oh, yes. I'm going to pop up an image there for you. I should have had this lined up, but I suppose it's relevant to why why somebody might be wanting to take this guy out here, huh? But up on local elections. Where's that? There it is. Boom. Leaflet. There we go. As I said, should have had this lined up there a little better there earlier. But you've probably seen this on the thumbnail of the show there when we were starting up. So yeah, look, this is the first bit of news. We did announce this already, but here it is, just further expanding on it. I'm officially registered to run in the upcoming local elections here in Cork North East. So for anybody out there living in Cork North East, you get an opportunity to vote for this guy if you're registered to vote. And if you're not registered to vote, guys, this is a very important announcement for you. You have until tomorrow to register to vote. So if you live in Cork North East and you can register to vote, if you haven't done so already, well, get your ass online. Do go to checktheregister.ie. All you have to do there is put in your air code or your address, and you can check that address. Then you put in your name along with your address, and you check then if you're registered to vote. If you're not registered to vote, then you can quickly follow a couple of steps on the same website to register to vote. There is a bit of a backlog at the moment, but you do have to get your request in by, I think, tonight or maybe early in the morning to tomorrow afternoon at the latest maybe. But definitely, guys, get it in by tonight. If you're hearing this before tonight, get it in. ASAP if you haven't already registered to vote, because it's important, guys, you register to vote and use your vote so you can be represented, because that's the slogan I'm going with at the moment. I'm running as I don't feel represented. That's pretty much my spiel here and my about me. I'm running for the election in Cork North East as I do not feel represented by any of those currently running. I'm running with a passion for drug policy reform, harm reduction, and I hold an honours BSc in herbal science. And I'll be committed to representing the people of Cork North East with integrity and dedication. And I am committed to bringing transparency to the role of councillors there. To be fair, I don't know much about what goes on. I'm not completely clueless going into this. I lack experience for sure. In regards to being a councillor, but certainly not clueless going into this. I've certainly read up about the powers there that councillors hold and about how they can exercise those. Had an interesting conversation there yesterday with a daughter of a locally elected councillor who's supportive of cannabis legalisation and all that. And yeah, it was a good conversation. That's all I'll say. We'll leave it at that. We won't mention any names. But there you go, guys. I will be running this election. I believe it's June 7th is polling day. When you get to go out there and vote, or is it June 6th, something along those. Well, I guess quick look. 2024 local election polling day. Yeah, June 7th, Friday, June 7th, yeah, and the countdown would be the next day, I suppose, beginning, I suppose, that evening. Boom, there you go. So June 7th, Friday, June 7th is when the polling day is. But again, more important, if you're not registered to vote, guys, you have until tomorrow. Get your ass online right now. Do it. Toro Foss, what's happening? He says, hope all is well. Sent an Instagram message. That you did you? Just apologies for missing that there, Toro. Hope all is good with yourself and the doggos. Yeah, quickly popping over there now. It says we're online. Have a look at this message. See if Dodo. Oh yeah. Don't worry, I won't read it out if it's anything personal. Ah, yeah, says, I hope all is well with you. Sorry not been keeping up with you. The dog and I are trying to adjust to a new country and surroundings. I see you're over in Germany now. Excellent. So I see you're going to benefit there of the recent law changes. Hopefully, maybe we can catch up with you in the not too distant future, and you can share with us, how your experience over in Germany is different to maybe what it would have been here in Ireland. You're saying you can't log into Facebook, trying to reach you on here. Need a voice on. Oh, excellent. On how to trim a plant. Excellent. And obviously, that's not going to be a problem sharing that because you're over in Germany now where it's okay to be trimming a plant. Excellent. I love that, man. Excellent. Apologies again, for missing this message, but I hope you don't mind me getting back to you here, not live on air. Let me know if I can talk sometime. Certainly will. I'll certainly follow back up with you there, Toto. And again, give my warmest regards there to Bailey as well, yeah? uh, love seeing you there in the messages, are in the hot box. Who else is there? Jason Lee says, define the area. I'm in Knocker. Can I vote for you? No, I believe you're in Cork North West up in Knocker. So I have the electoral area there listed earlier, but Cork North East. I'll get it up on screen there now. Let's see, new boundaries, maps. There we go. So here we go, guys. I'm gonna pop this up on screen. Take that ugly looking fella off there for a sec. And there you go, guys. So Cork North West, look, is where you are above there in Knocker. Apologies. Nice one though for the support. So the cut-off line there for people who would like to vote for me for Cork North East is along the Blackpool boundary, down there to the bottom of what looks like Shandon Street. Is it? Do I get Shandon Street there? I think I might lose Shandon Street actually. Yeah, I think Shandon Street is over there a little bit more. Get up around Collins Barracks. I get Patrick's Hill there by the looks of it. Obviously then all in Montanati, Mayfield, Loda, down as far as the Dunkettle there into Glanmire, Sallybrook area, Sarsfield Court, out as far as Ballyknoe there into the White's Cross area. Ballincrokey, got by around Kilcully. So there you go, that's Cork North East, yeah, local electoral area. And just keep in mind, just as we're on here, guys, just for the upcoming, which won't be very fucking long at all, the upcoming elections, Cork North Central, is that the term for it? I think it's this big red boundary anyway, with the black line then across. So everybody across that Cork City North West and Cork City North East will be able to vote for me again in the general election should I become officially registered as a candidate for that. So that will be in 2025. That general election will be held. So keep that in mind too. So for those people above there in Knocker, yeah, you'll be able to vote for this guy in the 2025 general election when it is held and called and held. So boom, there you go, guys. For anybody looking to see this map, all I did there was put into Google Cork City North East local electoral area. It brings it up. It's over on the corkcity.ie website. So there you go. Oh, excuse me. So we've, as I said, we've a couple of headlines there for you to get through. Unfortunately, it's freaking as normal. It's a bit of bad news. I suppose we started with the good news. This guy's officially registered. I didn't miss the nomination deadline. So I suppose, yeah, we did start with something positive. What's happening, Keith? See Keaton Hotbox, friendly growers as well. Teresa says hi all on this fine Sunday. Yeah, that it is. As I said, I actually had to have the studio door open here, as you can probably see the reflection of the light coming in. But boom, boom. Nice see Bobby there saying awesome podge. Glad to hear it, bro. I'll get another round over for the holidays this year too. Oh yes, Bobby, what a legend. Bobby's hooking up the Irish cannabis community with some absolute fire genetics, guys. So if you're lucky enough to know some of these growers that have been on the receiving end of these care packages, you know, you're just blown away by some of what we're seeing there over on the hot box at the moment, anyway, for sure. So again, all the more reason to get over there, guys. Join up as members. Boom. Let's start. Look with a local one. A local one. Sorry. A local one in regards to Munster people. Kerry. We're gonna pop down to Kerry. Where in a Kerry court, the court was told that a Kerry man has copped on after drug charges. Oh, copped on like that. That kind of annoyed me when I seen the headline, you know, oh, your man's copped on now. Like, they're going in there saying, like, oh, yeah, the court has taught this guy a lesson and he's copping on now because of the court. Like, come on, what kind of BS is it, this actually, really? Like, has he really copped on because of the court, or has he copped on because, look, he took a look at his life and realised, yeah, come here, I need to, like, get my shit together and move on with my life? Because, like, this particular person, anyway, he's 25 years of age, and he's only now just after getting his first full-time job, according to this news article. So, like, I don't know how much of a role really the courts played in this as such. Like, you know, can they really be claiming credit for this, or did this lad just take a look at his life and say, yeah, look, actually, when I start getting my shit together, like, but anyhow, look, he's claiming he's turned his life around because of the courts. Obviously, he's fallen on the mercy of the courts because he doesn't want to get a conviction. He's 25 years of age, named in this article. I'm not going to read out his name. I'm not going to read out his address, even though it's probably up there on the screen feed to see and read. That's the unfortunate nature of being criminalised for cannabis in Ireland. You do have your name plastered in the media. But as I said, I'm not going to add to it by reading it, but unfortunately it is there, and it's there for everyone to read. 165 euro worth of cannabis he was caught with, apparently. This was at his home address. One small amount was valued at 25 euros, and the other, which he was caught with under search warrant, was approximately 140 euros. So the first time he got caught with cannabis, he got caught with 25 euros worth, which was 1.25 grams. So it's a gram and a quarter of a gram, 1.25 of a gram. That's what they value it at. It's a 20 euro a gram. So, like, they probably weighed it in the baggie. Like, it was probably a gram in a baggie, and the baggie probably weighed 0.25 of a gram, and they included that in the way, you know. The same then with the other one. He got caught with a quarter. He got caught with 7 grams of cannabis potentially there. They valued it at 140, so 20 euro a gram, 140. Like, well, what a waste of the court's time. What a waste of the guards' time here. Like, this is what I'm going to be highlighting to the constituents when I'm going around canvassing, you know, is that I would like to be making our Gardaí more effective in our communities, in the policing of our communities, because look, this not only like is a waste of their time, but it also kind of puts them in a bad standing with these people in the community. Like this individual here who's had his home raided, like not only him, but the other people he might be living with, his friends, his family, you know, who might sympathise with him. You know, they might now have a dislike for the Gardaí. They might have a kind of a, what's the point of going for them? You know, they're never there to help you when you need them. But they're there then to fucking, you know, criminalise you for a little bit of cannabis. So I'll be kind of highlighting, you know, how these kind of cases actually do more of a disservice there to the policing of our communities than they do a benefit. And again, you know, how people like this individual could be much better helped if he really does have a problem with cannabis, you know, by the health service and not by the Gardaí, to be fair. The guy had 2 previous convictions apparently for drug charges. So again, you know, you really wonder how much benefit really the court actually is if he has 2 previous drug charges, because how many times, like, 'cause I know from experience, I went to court many times for different cases before I ever received a charge. So when I make a donation to the court charity box, that's not a charge. That's wiped out. That's not a charge. Then you get to walk out of the court and you're not charged at all on that day. So therefore, it doesn't count. So this guy got two previous convictions for drug charges. So he must have been to court, because you don't ever really get a conviction, and people know this like your first time going in for drugs. In my experience, guys, like in my experience, I got 9 appearances, nine donations to the charity box before I ever received a conviction. I again received an opportunity for a donation to the charity box down in Dungarvan instead of having to do a prison case. I don't know, did I get a conviction that day? I don't think I did, to be fair. I don't think I got a conviction. I think the case was just thrown out then after I made that donation to the charity box. But again, afforded the opportunity yet again. And that included as a charge, highlighting, how much time has actually been wasted by the courts, because really, what are they actually doing? They're not benefiting anybody. They're more of a fucking nuisance than anything. His solicitor, most likely getting free legal aid in this case, or if the unfortunate case, if the young fella's actually paying for it out of his own pocket, like, jeez, I'd hate to imagine what his bill was. But he said that the individual was not in court because he was in employment for the first time in a long time. So again, I apologise actually. So it wasn't that he was in employment for the first time; it was the first time in a long time. I believe I said incorrectly at the beginning of reading this article that it was his first time working. No, it was his first time in a long time. He said that he was working in retail, but he wouldn't say where. He said that he was hopeful that the individual would not come before the Garda attention again, and he seemed to have copped on. So those were the words of his solicitor. The judge convicted him on both offences and fined him a total of €250 for the two offences. So €125, I suppose, for each charge, and a conviction for each charge. A conviction that's going to last with him for the rest of his life, and again, impact on his ability to get jobs and all of that. He's working in retail now at the moment. How kindly is that really looked upon when you go, if he's unfortunate, gets laid off because the place he's working closes down, Anyhow, I thought that was an important one to highlight, because it really highlighted the waste of time there of the Gardaí. It really highlighted the fracturing of the relationship between the Gardaí and their local community. Not just those people who they're going and targeting, the person getting charged, but also, again, as I said, friends and family who might sympathise with that individual, who might also be consumers themselves of cannabis for either recreational reasons or therapeutic, medical reasons. Regardless, they sympathise with that person, and they too, their relationship will be further fractured with the Gardaí when, to see them going after their friend like this. And then meanwhile, you see other crap that's going on out there, I won't even go into it, but oh, yeah. Boom, keep vote number one. Nice one, Keith. Yeah, vote Martin Condon number one, Cork North East, yeah. Local elections 2024. Gabberhead says, good afternoon, Martin. Hope the family are well, mate. Yeah, everybody is good, man. Thank God. Happy to report we had an amazing day out there yesterday at the Godson's communion. We were out late enough, actually, yesterday evening, but everyone had a great day. Hence why I wasn't on, actually, for a stream yesterday, and why we're doing it on a Sunday. Sunday is normally family day for me, and I'll get a 420 news on a Saturday. We swapped it around this weekend. Boom, bottle of cop on, says Keith. Apparently the judges are serving them out of there. Alright, Barry Fields, what's happening? Say hi there to all the dogs against prohibition over in your place, yeah? Shout out to the dog pack. There it is. I was looking there for my ball. Boom. Next headline I have for you guys. A massive seizure of cannabis. And again, a lot more work there for some services in Ireland. Again, a cost to the taxpayers, keep in mind, a waste of taxpayers' money. And important resources there, because the Forensic Science Ireland, who are going to be on the receiving end now of this seizure, where €1 million worth of vacuum-packed cannabis was discovered above there in a warehouse in Ashbourne, County Meath. So you see the cannabis all nicely stacked up here. And I know by the windows there behind that. Anybody else out there who's had the pleasure of being inside in a fucking a Garda cell or a prison cell of any kind will recognise that type of glass there behind that. So this is obviously the holding cell of the local Garda station there in County Meath, and they've all that cannabis stacked up there. And it's funny enough, like it's when you keep you look at this, and then you have to keep in mind, like there was a couple of stories there recently where the guards were snooping a little bit of cannabis there for their partners and stuff. You wonder how secure it actually is inside a lockup like this. Whip a couple of nodges there out of the bag and stick in an old weight. Nudge the bags. But yeah, according to An Garda Síochána, the drugs were discovered in Ashbourne by Gardaí attached to the Mead South Task Force with assistance from the Garda National Drugs and Organised Crime. And doggo, doggo's back in. We leave him off. The suspected cannabis was discovered in a vacuum-packed bags. Suspected. Come on, like we can all like quite tell it is cannabis. Like. The drugs are now subject to analysis by the Forensic Science Ireland, and no arrest has been made in relation to this investigation at the time, and investigations are ongoing. And what that means, investigations ongoing, that part there, I just highlighted it in blue, zoom in. That means taxpayers' money is currently being wasted while they continue these investigations into who's bringing, like, what you hope is high quality cannabis into the country. Like, really, like, this is wanted by the majority of people on the receiving end of it. There's like 99% of people who will part with their money to get this. 99.9% of people who will part with their money to get this will be doing so in a mutually consensual exchange where they will pass over some money and they will get some cannabis back in exchange. Mutually beneficial, where both people are happy. They're getting what they want. And for some strange reason, our lunatic government want to prevent this, and they don't want to benefit and protect consumers in this while also taking a revenue from that exchange. They're really dropping the ball there when it comes to what the government should be doing, because really when it comes to it, like, our government's job at the end of the day is like policies and regulations to protect consumers. Are they really protecting consumers by putting a prohibition in place on such a sought after product? It's such a popular product, to be fair. Cannabis, are they really doing their citizens a good service by putting a prohibition in place, and something in which so many of them want? They're not, right? I'll answer that question. Like, they're not. They're doing a disservice. They're not doing their job. What they should be doing is putting policies in place that put protections in place for consumers. So consumers, when the government and their fearmongering, the reefer madness brothers are out there saying, talking about high strength cannabis. In reality, what they should be doing is putting in place regulations where consumers can be informed about the strength of their cannabis, maybe in the first place, and maybe put in place regulations there, say, for cannabis edibles, then if they're to be sold, in a similar sense that they have over in states in America, where they have a single serving size regulation of 10 milligrams. Meaning that, like, if a piece of chocolate, a serving size of chocolate, it can't be above 10 milligrams. So if you've got a bar of chocolate that's got 12 slices, that bar of chocolate can't have more than 120 milligrams, 10 milligrams per serving. That's doing your job, government. That's what I hope to bring to the table if I am to be elected. Again, vote Martin number 1. Because I don't know what I'll be talking about when I go in there and I'm talking about this. Currently, none of these guys up there have an idea of what they're talking about. They just speak reefer madness nonsense, unfortunately. And even those actually, like, trying to be supportive of us, not all of them, but a lot of them, they do tend to, like, pander to the prohibitionists more than they actually do to our community when it comes to representing us, even within the Dáil. They seem to almost want to represent the prohibitionists more in the policies that they bring to the floor. And I can understand why, because unfortunately those who are going to be voting on it are very much of a prohibitionist mindset, so they want to put policies forward that might have more chance of being accepted. But at the same time, I can't help but I'm just like, man, you're catering more to the prohibitionists than you are to us. Like, listen to us, put it out there, like, go as far as we can, like, really go for what we want, not what they want, and let them argue back for what they want after, and don't give them what they want straight up, and then because they're going to ask for even more, then, aren't they? I don't know. That's my feeling. Anyhow, uh, are we looking out there? Tinkle Tink, what's happening? Tinkle Tink says, great to catch the stream. Oh, I see I've missing the multi stream there as well, actually. Tinkle Tink, though. Great to catch the stream live. Hello from to everyone in the hot box. He says, USA federally legalizing is another huge step. Politicians are so behind in Ireland, it's shameful behaviour. It really is. There's no excuse for it, to be very honest. Tinkle think like that. There's not. They do not engage in honest debates. They don't engage in debates at all, actually, to be very honest. But yeah, as Bobby said, it isn't yet federally legalized over there yet, but they did just recently reclassify it, which doesn't really do much for the whole legal side of it. But what it is, a big thing for, apparently, from what I'm seeing, is for the excuse me, the big multinational like cannabis corporations. Apparently, this now changes the taxing of tax classification of cannabis and medical cannabis products. So now they're going to be paying a lot less tax on certain products in relation to cannabis and medicine, I believe. Again, I haven't looked a whole lot into it, but just from skimming the surface on that, that's who I see to be the biggest winners on that. Some of those big companies who were able to maybe lobby these government politicians, senators over there. And when I say lobby, I mean, greasing some palms, probably passing some brown envelopes, promising some jobs maybe. But yeah, it seems like they're the biggest winners. Nobody's really going to be getting released from prison over this. States aren't going to be like any under any less pressure, I suppose, from the federal government in regards to cannabis. So yeah. It was blown up as a bit of a big thing initially, but then there was, as I said, the counter to come out to say, look, actually, what good is this really outside of a bit of a tax shift there, a tax break for certain companies. It didn't do anything for the legal side of it, yeah. Right, let's drive on then, as we touched off of the 1 million worth of cannabis discovered above there in County Meath. We go to another seizure of cannabis that was made, this time in Dublin. So this was €170,000 worth of cannabis. Again, you could only hope that it was high quality cannabis. Unfortunately, taken out of circulation. But again, didn't do anything. Like the Gardaí have done very little here to impact the sale and supply of cannabis above there in the Clondalkin area. As I do believe we have one or two members from the Clondalkin area, and I've not heard anybody complaining yet of a drought because of any of these recent seizures, of which there is a couple of them. Like there's multiple millions of euros worth of cannabis, just cannabis alone, seized in the last few days. But again, I'm not seeing a peep online about a shortage in the supply of cannabis anywhere in the country. But the Gardaí seized €170,000 worth of cannabis and arrested one man in South Dublin yesterday at approximately 5:30. This was on Saturday afternoon. Gardaí searched a vehicle in Clondalkin, Dublin 22, as part of Operation Terra. During the course of the search, they uncovered approximately €170,000 worth of suspected cannabis herb, and a man in his 30s was arrested at the scene and is currently detained under Section 2 of the Criminal Justice Drug Trafficking Act of 96 at a Garda station in Dublin. The drugs are now subject to analysis by the Forensic Science Ireland. Again, just there, to the voters. People come to your door asking, for your vote. Just remind them how much money has been wasted here in this, Forensic Science Ireland. They're also utilised to process things like, rape kits and other kind of biological stuff to do with crimes, serious crimes. People get assaulted and stuff like that as well, and burglaries. But a whole lot of their time, unfortunately, is actually taken up with testing drugs. So much so they actually had to get an expansion of their lab there recently. They opened up a massive lab there recently in Kilkenny, again, off the back of the taxpayer. But you see, like, I suppose, well, I say it's wasting a lot of their time, but for, I suppose, the people in Forensic Science Ireland, they're delighted with probably the importance they feel, with the amount of workload that's coming through and all of that. But at the same time, it's a waste. There's no need for it. In reality, like, the only work that should be done there in regards to this drug testing is quality control before it reaches educated consumers who are of age, from a fucking registered retail outlet of whatever that might look like. But anyhow, they go on blah 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 about Operation Tara here, launched in 2021, July 21 by Drew Harris. It aims to disrupt, dismantle, prosecute drug trafficking networks at all levels, international, national, local, involved in the importation, distribution, cultivation, production, local sale, and supply of controlled drugs. What a waste of time. Yeah, Operation Tara. Bobby O'Brien said it may change the bringing it over the border too. Now it's medicine to the government. I think it normalises though, which is good, very good. Yeah, that is actually an important thing to point out there. If it does actually facilitate the transportation of medical cannabis now more easier over the border, for both Canadians and Americans, both sides of the border there, then fucking, where is it? Oh. That's a good thing in my books. Operation Terror, though, not so much. Tinkle Tink saying here, like, Operation Terror, aka easy money and overtime for the boys. Yeah, but it's a waste. Like, they should be getting that overtime anyway. But what they should be getting that overtime for, if they want it, is for patrolling our communities, to making sure our kids, our mums, our aunts, our uncles, all those people that we care and love are safe. They're safe from people who actually are a threat to them, people who actually want to inflict harm upon them, or might want to, like, rob them, or, I won't even go there with any of the vulgarities, but that's what the Gardaí should be getting overtime for, and I think that should be made available to them if they want it, to be out there patrolling our communities, keeping us fucking safe from real criminals, not from the likes of me, not from the likes of that poor fucking young fella down there in Kerry who's copped on now. They're not going to catch him with cannabis anymore. So who was he ever a threat to with a bit of cannabis in his pocket? No one. So, anybody needs to fucking cop on. It's our politicians, to be fair. It's our policy makers. It's even the Gardaí. Come on, more Gardaí need to speak up on this. I know I've met a lot of them, actually, over the last while. A lot more than I've ever met in the past. When I changed the dynamic there and how I was kind of campaigning, I suppose. I got to see a bit of a human side of certain cops that I got to meet and chat with over the last few years. And a lot of them agreed with the sentiment of our campaign. They agree with the idea of ending the prohibition of cannabis. They think it's an absolute waste of their time. I just wish more of them would publicly say it. I wish that when the Garda were represented at the Citizens' Assembly, that they were done so in an honest way, because the Garda weren't represented in an honest way based on the Gardaí I met. They weren't asked their views or opinions. Their views and opinions weren't brought to the floor of the Citizens' Assembly to talk about, the policing side of Ireland's drug policy. No, it wasn't. They got the reefer madness, the complete prohibitionist, propaganda-loaded Garda representative opinion. They didn't get an honest one. What's going on there? Tinkle Tink saying it's obvious that under capitalism the guards work for the business owning class. And Bob One Son saying us in Kerry are full of cop on. The lad caught with all that meth had also now copped on and is free to go now. Is he? Yeah. To be honest, I hadn't been following that case, that massive seizure of meth that was that gardening centre there. Was it Ballyseedy or whatever it was? No, I wouldn't be surprised though, like, as these lads are in there with the politicians and everything. It was a Fine Gael or Fianna Fáil connection. They're all the same these days anyway, like, but yeah, it's funny, but not surprising. Right, we drive on. The next headline is it's again something that, as I said, it's going to be much more of a common headline we're going to see here is people getting jailed for trying to smuggle cannabis into Ireland. People who are probably being used by others who are going to be making more money off it, and they're probably being just used like mules. Remember those girls there? What was your one? She fucking wrote a book and she made a whole load of money and all afterwards. They were models or something, weren't they? They made a career for themselves out of being some drug smugglers. You know who I'm on about anyway. Her name is fucking over my head anyway, but unfortunately, I don't think these lads are going to be making a career out of it because they're not getting locked up in some foreign country anyway, and they don't seem to be supermodels of any kind. But these two lads got caught with 690,000 worth of cannabis, trying to bring it into the Ireland through Dublin Airport. They got caught with this. When were they caught with this? This was October 17th of last year. Yeah, last year. It's 2023. So the case was moved along pretty quickly, I suppose. If you look at that October to now, what's that, 7 months? And they're in jail now. I suppose they've been in jail since they were arrested at Dublin Airport. They were probably held because of the fact that they were British nationals, I would imagine. Gives their name here. One of them is 20 years of age, the other one is 26. And as I said, most likely these two lads were probably given a couple of grand, maybe 2.5, 3 grand each. Their lads hop on the airplane there, look, a suitcase each there, and bring it on over there and give it to whoever in Dublin. Unfortunately, the lads are caught with it. That 2.5, 3 grand, whatever they got paid for it, even if it was 5 grand, they're now going to have to be doing 2 years. Was it they got 2-3 years? They were handed a 3-year sentence at the circuit court. And keep in mind again, just to bring it back to taxpayers and what this means to taxpayers. 3 years for these lads. Average cost of a prisoner in Ireland is in the region of about 80 grand. So for 2 prisoners, 80 grand a year, you're talking about 240,000 there for the 3 years for each of those prisoners. So that's 480,000 euro for that sentence there, if they're to do the entirety of that sentence. So 6 years, That's a lot of money for taxpayers. Keep in mind, the time when our health service is fucking an abysmal mess because of lack of funding, because of staffing issues there, because of recruitment embargoes, and all that BS, Absolute joke. With a flashing going on outside the studio there. Judge Nolan said, of course, Judge Nolan, no wonder the boys got a hefty old sentence. Judge Nolan, passing the sentence, said that the Stevenson, being an Irish national, he would have received a 6.5-year sentence, while Shears received a lesser sentence of 3 years on account of his younger age. But because he's a British national, and it's more difficult for him to serve a sentence here in Ireland, he gave him the 3 years, I believe. So Judge Nolan's saying it's always more difficult for people to serve their sentences in foreign jurisdictions, but that Stevenson had been a mature enough man who had made more serious misjudgment to involve himself in transporting drugs for profit. Garda David Walsh told Shane O'Callaghan, prosecuting, that the two men were met by customs officers when they arrived into Dublin from Las Vegas and were questioned about suspected suitcases. Stevenson said the suitcases belonged to him and that he had packed them himself. Shears handed over the keys and the case, and the Gardaí discovered 64 black vacuum-packed packages which tested positive for cannabis. Again, tested positive, meaning that they had to go to Forensic Science Ireland. Again, more cost there to the taxpayers. The men were both arrested and cooperated with the Gardaí when they made admissions. The court heard that they travelled from Manchester to Dublin to Chicago to Las Vegas to New York and then back to Dublin. The purpose of the journey was to collect the cannabis in Las Vegas and then transport it to Dublin via Manchester, or transported via Dublin, to Manchester on behalf of an unnamed individual. So there you go. Look, the unnamed individual. Neither accused has any previous convictions, and Shears told the Gardaí his job was to supervise Stevenson, who was to transport the drugs, and that Stevenson was to be paid 15,000. So there you go. It was 15 grand he was getting paid for it, but I don't know what good is that now. He got caught with the stuff. I would imagine he's probably not getting paid, and he's getting locked up. Shears claimed he only got paid for his flight accommodation and €600 spending money. Garda Walsh agreed, defending that Stevenson was more likely to have received quite a limited monetary gain. And Mr. O'Leary described Stevenson as a vulnerable person. Again, highlight that there, vulnerable person who had been used by others for a relatively small gain. His role was the lowest rung of the ladder, said Mr. O'Leary, handing in multiple letters from Stevenson's parents and employer. Again, keep in mind, the young fella's only 20. The court heard Stevenson had always had a job since he left school and was very liked. Was very likeable and a huge support to his family. He is truly remorseful. A long-term employer described Stevenson as a hard-working, punctual, respectful, polite and helpful. The court heard Stevenson as an enhanced prisoner and using his time in custody constructively, actively engaged in education and spending the time in the gym. Counsel for Shears also handed in another number of testimonials on his behalf, including from a neighbour who expressed surprise that he would find himself in the situation. Shears had been a user of cannabis, but was making good use of his time in custody and engaging well with the educational teams and working in the prison kitchen. He was also engaging with supports at Merchants Quay, again, playing into this whole drug addiction, and the prisons are helping him, falling on the mercy of the courts. And Judge Nolan accepted both accused, had pleaded guilty early and cooperated with Gardaí, and he added that he intended a market for the cannabis had been the United Kingdom. So he got 3 years though still off him, didn't he? Yeah. Stevenson, yes. Dylan Shears 20. And Stevenson. Yeah, Stevenson Shears. Yeah. Sorry, I just fucking get mixed up there on the two names and what have you. So it was Shears was to be was the supervisor, and Shears was the younger fella. Yeah. Make sure I didn't mix that up. And he still got 3 years. He still got 3 years for it as a 20-year-old. Yeah, well, Shears received a lesser sentence of 3 years on accounts of his younger age. That's shocking. It really is shocking, Yeah. What's happening, shouting in a bucket? So again, I am, if I'm to be elected, is to be seeing less headlines like this anyway, because again, if we were to decriminalise and regulate the sale and trade of cannabis, then headlines like this would in reality really be a thing of the past. If anything, you're just going to be seeing counterfeit cannabis, much like you see counterfeit cigarettes or whatever they call them, when they're trying to sneak them into the country without paying the revenue, their tax on it, That'll be the only seizures really you'll be seeing in cannabis then in the future. People trying to sneak it in without paying tax. Keith's in here doing a job that never ends. It's only a floor. There's better things to be at. 100%, as I said, alright, that cannabis was destined for another market in regards to that case, but any of the recent seizures made there over the last couple of days that have been making the headlines, they've not put a dent on the trade. They've inconvenienced a couple of people for sure, but they've not interrupted the trade, the supply. I can still go onto my phone right now and I can message somebody and I can have a package in the post box and all by this evening, picked up by the postman in the morning, delivered probably by Tuesday. No bothers at all. You could probably make another message actually, to be fair, and meet. There's probably a couple of people I could easily meet this evening if I wanted to. No problem at all here in Cork. So there you go. That's a case coming out of Dublin. Massive cost there to the taxpayers. Complete waste of time by the justice system. Completely unnecessary. Quickly, just gonna pack up another bowl. Another 8 minutes there to the next 4:20. Boom. The next 4:20 guys, just Accra, Bamako, Dakar, and the Azores. Beautiful little island, the Azores. So we have a bowl packed up there. We'll try and keep an eye on the time. We'll see if we can catch it. Just to keep with the seizures, just keep in line with the seizures that have been made over the last couple of days. €220,000 worth of cannabis seized from Shannon Airport. This was just Thursday. Excuse me. €220,000 worth of cannabis seized by revenue officers at Shannon Airport. The drugs were discovered as a result of risk profiling in parcels originating from the USA, Canada, and Europe. So these packages, they weren't all from the one destination, as it says here. Like these are made up of multiple packages from different destinations: USA, Canada, and Europe. And they were destined then for addresses in County Limerick, Galway, and Cork. And again, this is just what they caught, like, and they seized. How many packages actually got through yesterday? How many people, in Limerick, Galway, and Cork, waiting on packages from the USA, Canada, and Europe, are going to still receive them come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? So many. I know they will. The drugs were seized over the last 2 weeks and included 7 kilos of herbal cannabis, cannabis-infused jellies, and psychoactive substances. So these were seizures made over the last 2 weeks. Revenue asked that if any businesses are members, blah, 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 want to be a rat, get in touch with them. Oh, what a waste of time. So that was Shannon Airport. We covered this story out of Kerry then already. So then one final one I want to get to, Witchy. I do believe this is the final one for today. Yes, it is. I did get around to them all there today. This is the final one. I've seen a couple of people have been conversing online over this one because peed them off a little bit, especially the people over in the Hotbox. There was a bit of conversation about this headline over in the Hotbox there recently. So this was a headline that was shared across a number of different media outlets, that a woman fell to her death after eating cannabis jellies, an inquest has heard. So basically, an inquest heard that a woman fell to her death after eating cannabis jellies, and it's been portrayed here in such a way that, like, it's saying that the cannabis jellies are to blame. This woman is a nurse. She's a mother of two from Boston in the United States, and she was visiting her mother's native Limerick city to attend a festival. Now, the festival she was attending, as some people might quickly jump to, Electric Picnic, blah, blah, blah. No, she was heading to Riverfest. Riverfest is a kind of a cultural type of thing, they have all stalls and markets and little fun fairs and stuff like that. All little celebrations of the culture of life along the river of Limerick, in Limerick. What is the river in Limerick, actually? Anybody? Somebody there in the hot box, hit me up. What's my geography is terrible. Our river's running through Limerick. I wonder who's going to be the first one in the hot box there. But yeah, that was the festival she was heading to. Anyway, it wasn't a big fancy music festival with like trance and house and all that stuff. So the coroner for Limerick, who heard that a woman fell to her death from a hotel balcony after she ingested a cannabis jelly, plans to write to the health service executive to issue a public warning about the dangers of the cannabis sweets. Like, well, what's this absolutely about? Like, come on, the Limerick coroner. What does the coroner actually know really about the pharmacology of the substances contained within cannabis when they're consumed then orally in the form of a jelly? What does the coroner really know about those dangers and those effects? Because from my understanding here, it's basically just they've watched Reefer Madness maybe, and that was it, and they took it as a bible, you know. Um, yeah, this is definitely a misuse of the position of coroner anyway. They shouldn't be writing to the health service executive. Um, the article anyway goes on to say, and I'll return back to the coroner there in a couple of minutes. The nurse and mother of two, Catherine Katie Batchelor from Boston in the United States, may she rest in peace, unfortunately she fell to her death while visiting her mother's native Limerick City to enjoy the city's Riverfest May Bank Holiday celebrations back in 2023. That was May of last year. She was due to meet up with friends and attend a concert at King's John Castle performed by the band Hermitage Green, of which some of her cousins are band members. Her inquest at Limerick's coroner's court heard on Wednesday, along with her mother, Fidelma Batchelder, and her sister, Stephanie Smith. Katie was staying in the Strand Hotel in Limerick City after enjoying a night out at a local restaurant. The three women returned to the hotel to pack their suitcases and to get some rest ahead of flying home the following day. At some stage, Katie Batchelder consumed at least half a cannabis jelly, which she used as a sleeping aid twice a week, it was heard. Now, again, keep in mind, right, she used half a cannabis jelly that she used twice a week as a sleeping aid. So if she's using this regularly as a sleeping aid, like this would make me believe that she already has a tolerance to this. It would also make me believe that she was possibly using this back in Boston. And I believe back in Boston, then her ability to get a quality assured product would be much higher. But she's here in Ireland. I wonder, like, did she, while here in Ireland, unfortunately, maybe source something from the black market here in Ireland? We're here in the black market in Ireland. The the dose people like to really go about is like about 500 milligrams. Like, you know, oh yeah, 500 milligram edibles. You know. While over in the US, certain states, they regulate a regulated dose, serving size at 10 milligrams. Keep in mind the difference there between 10 milligrams and 500 milligrams. Massive. Her family said she had been in good form earlier on the night. However, it was heard that after she returned to her hotel room, she suffered a psychotic episode. Another guest who was staying in the hotel room, Joanna Jackma, told the inquest she was awoken shortly after 3 a.m. on May 2nd to loud noises coming from Katie's room. When she went to investigate, believing someone was in danger in the room, Miss Jackma found Miss Batchelor distressed and completely undressed. The witness said Katie attacked her aggressively and ran after Miss Jackma along the corridor of the hotel. The only two staff members on duty on that night tried to assist Katie and bring her to a room on the third floor down to the lobby on the ground floor via an escalator. The inquest heard that Katie fell to her death from a third floor glass panel balcony to the first floor after she moved away from staff. Retired consultant pathologist Gabor Lasky said toxicology tests found no alcohol in Miss Batchelor's system, but there was evidence of cannabis as well as an antidepressant drug, citalopram, which was above the prescribed therapeutic level, but which was not at toxic levels. Dr. Lasky said the two substances may have interacted with unexpected consequences, and biology and drugs have behave in a strange way. So again here, like, you know, it was above prescribed levels, but it doesn't say what she actually prescribed that drug. Or again, you know, keep in mind she ate some cannabis edibles. Did she buy some cannabis edibles that potentially were adulterated with this citalopram? You know, Dr. Lasky said that while he had not personally come across another post-mortem case which involved cannabis jellies, he said he was aware that the Irish health authorities had previously raised concern about synthetic cannabis being put into cannabis jellies. So it's important there that they're raising a concern about synthetic cannabis. He agreed with Dorian O'Mahony, counsel for Katie's family, that cannabis jellies could potentially cause delusions and hallucinations. In her deposition, Fidelma, the mother of Katie, said that she did not believe her daughter had intended to die on the night. I believe she had a psychotic episode from what I've been told, and I don't think she wanted to die. Oh, just hit 420 there a minute ago. Katie's husband said his late wife was a sound and stable individual, and that in his opinion her death could not or could have been prevented. It did not need to be this way. He said he spoke by mobile telephone to his wife in her final moments before the phone went silent, and a staff member came onto the phone to tell him his wife had jumped. Oh jeez, that's fucking horrific. Coroner John McNamara said it was clear the psychotic episode was induced by the consumption of an edible cannabis gummy or jelly and prescribed medication found in Katie's system. But again, the headline doesn't talk about the prescribed medication at all. It just talks about cannabis jelly. On the balance of probabilities, she fell as opposed to having jumped, and it's clear that she didn't intend this outcome. Recording a narrative verdict in line with the evidence heard, the coroner said he had a duty to bring forward to the public the risks involved with cannabis jellies. He highlighted a 2022 report published by the Forensic Science Ireland, which found that cannabis edibles had caused adverse reactions and hospitalisations. Mr. McNamara said he would write to the HSE in respect of issuing public warning about the associated risks of these so-called cannabis jellies. But again, just to return to Mr. McNamara, the coroner here, if he genuinely has read this report, then he too also should have read what I read when I read this report, and I have it up here actually on this page. So this is case study 1, and within this, on the third paragraph, there's very important information here that the coroner should be aware of it when he's writing his recommendation to the HSE, and maybe his warning should include, that the HSE should be doing more to regulate, to see that these products are regulated, because the Forensic Science Ireland say here, they found more than 50% of the jellies tested in 2022 did not contain THC. Again, did not. Let's really to emphasize, 50%. There is 50% did not contain THC, guys. Don't be just be very careful of what you're buying out there, because 50% did not contain THC. That's very important information, cannot be ignored, and that should really be included there in the coroner's recommendations to the HSE, to the Health Service Executive, that these products really do need to be regulated, so that people could be protected from not only the synthetics but also from high strength products, if they're really concerned about high strength products. The Forensic Science Ireland found that more than 50% of the jellies tested in 2022 did not contain THC, but instead contained a different type of chemical known as synthetic cannabinoids. Synthetic cannabinoids are a class of man-made chemicals that are produced to mimic the effect of THC in the body, and it says that little is known about the physiological effects of these man-made compounds, and that they pose an even greater risk to product consumers than is realised. And again, to go back to what I was talking about there earlier, the role of our government really should be, above all else, to protect consumers, and the prohibition of cannabis currently is really putting consumers at risk. And the most vulnerable of those consumers are the younger population, because, the older population can be a bit more sensible. They probably have more of a trust base there. They probably have more access to trustworthy sources, whereas the younger generation they're really at risk, not only from the dangers posed by the individuals who are selling them the substances, but also, again, as I say, from the synthetic cannabinoids which could be contained within those substances. So again, if our government and the policy makers really want to be protecting the vulnerable out there, then they need to be fucking doing more to see that the cannabis market is decriminalised and regulated. We need to take it out of the control of the criminals, put it under the control of responsible adults within the community who will sell it responsibly, for adhering to rules and regulations put in place by, again, educated policymakers. This guy, potentially, if you vote this guy number 1, June 7th. Full circle way. But yeah, there you go, guys. A woman falling for debt, that headline, again, it's just more propaganda, really, isn't it? Woman felt with rather being cannabis jelly. What about the fucking medication, the other medication she was taking, come on, when they say she tested positive for cannabis as well, I really would wonder, what the finer details of that toxicology report were. What kind of cannabinoids did she actually test positive for? Did she test positive for synthetic cannabinoids, and now they're just calling it cannabis, mislabeling it, just kind of to fit their narrative? We don't know. We can't I don't have access to that toxicology report, so I can't test if what they're saying is accurate. But I can certainly question whether it is, like, because again, where did that woman get the jelly? Did she source it in Limerick? If she did, again, a very high probability based on that 2022 report, over 50% of the edibles had no THC. So very high probability that she actually got exposed to synthetic if she sourced it here in Ireland. And again, if she sourced it, if in Boston and she brought it into Ireland with her, if she sourced it back in the US, then there's a high probability that it was a quality assured product, that the dose was known, and that the likelihood that that was actually the cause of her psychotic break was probably very low if she was using it for, say, in a microdosing way. It's very unlikely to be causing a psychotic break when you're kind of using it in a microdosing way. But if you're to take a bit more than what that fucking other medication was, the citralopram, whatever they called it, again, side effects of that. They kind of are in line with what happened there on the night, like in her losing balance and falling, you know. And again, was she prescribed that? Was she prescribed that because potentially, you know, she was already at risk of becoming psychotic? And therefore, was it just coincidental that she happened to be consuming these cannabis jellies when, unfortunately, you know, the time came when she did have a psychotic break, you know, something that she was already receiving help for, and maybe prescribed that other prescribed drug that was above the prescribed amount. So again, a lot of questions there, but again, there's nothing in that story that really can make a strong association to enough to blame cannabis for being the reason that woman fell to her death. None. Yeah. So there we go, guys. That is all of today's 420 news. Yeah. And we got it done in just over the hour. That is good. Don't go just yet, though. As I said, we got through the news. Some information there for people who might be interested. I was having a look there earlier as I was curious, you know, the upcoming election here in Cork. What would I actually need, like, to be elected? And when I ran in 2019 in the by-election, I got 291 first preference votes. I was absolutely blown away by that, like, really, and thank you very much to everybody and anybody out there listening right now who voted back then and gave me a number one. Thank you, guys. I was really moved that day because I beat, and I'm not trying to rub this in this person's face, but I actually beat an established politician who had ran previously for a party. And it's not like a fucking the Nazi party, like it was the Workers' Party. Like, this is a very, like, I would run for the Workers' Party if they had more in their policies about, like, drugs and drug policy. Again, you know, shout out to Ted Tynan there and the Workers' Party. This guy's open to a conversation there about, you know, opening up widening your manifesto and including a piece there, an extensive piece on drug policy reform for Ireland. I would be more than happy to run for you then, maybe, because I do agree with a lot of what's inside in your recent news letter. But anyhow, Ted's probably not watching this. Maybe someone who knows somebody can pass a word along, but you know, it's unfortunate. But yeah, I beat their candidate anyway. I got more votes than him. And like I ran on very short notice. I was a one-man army for the most part, doing a lot of my campaigning, going around door to door. Shout out to the Casa, to Graham, who helped me on times, and a couple of other people out there who did come along and help me out at times. But for the most part, I was just going around there doing my thing online, as you've probably seen over on Facebook, the Facebook page, which I'm going to get active again, actually, was Vote Martin Condon #1, I believe, was the title of the Facebook page. And I done a lot of my videos and stuff through there and got a lot of support because of that. And in fact, actually, that page, which I'll quickly see if I can get it up on thing there for you while I'm chatting to you, but that page was the reason then why this podcast kind of got started afterwards, you know. I seen that there was a lot of appetite out there for what I was talking about online then in these videos. And because there was a lot of appetite and interaction there, I was like, "Feck it, let's just commit to this and go ahead and Your page has been updated. Da, 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 da. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This page. Okay. No bother. Boom. So as I said, this page then led to the Martin's World podcast afterwards because obviously, I couldn't keep going live on this page because, I doggy, get out, go on, back outside. Get out. Because the election and all of that stuff was over. It wasn't really relevant at the time, but as I said, I will be getting it active there now again. Little photo up there of me as well when I graduated 2018. Two daughters, Kelsey and Alexis. The last post was a protest we held. We marched into the Garda station in Cork City, along with a couple of the protesters that came along with me. This is a very commonly used photo as well, actually. Do you know that photo of me going up the street there, the Cold K, with the megaphone and a couple of people behind me? It was a good old protest that day. Yeah, but yeah, do get over there, guys. Give it a like and follow for those who are over on the Facebook. I'll be getting more active as well across the Instagram pages and all of those places as well online. So for anybody online on those other social media platforms, do give me all the support you can get. Hit the likes, share buttons, comment buttons, and all of that stuff. Even if it's just to say, "Go on, Martin Kid." The more interaction that we can get over there, the better. Let's spook these politicians. Let's really let them know like that they're really dropping the ball when it comes to the drug policy reform, and send a strong message to them by, putting a lot of number ones next to this guy's name come June 7th. And also, if you can, we've got Graham de Barra, we've got Stephen Garland. They're going to be out there as well. Graham de Barra is going to be in the South European elections. Stephen Garland, Luke Mean Flanagan, I believe they're going to be in the same constituency there in the Midwest, I believe, is it, or something like that. But again, they're definitely deserving of votes there as well. Luke Mean Flanagan, Stephen Garland, Graham de Barra in the European elections. Gino Kenny's TD, he's not running locally. Again, I don't know of any other very pro cannabis local councillor running. Again, my apologies if you are out there. Message me. I'll promote the crap out of you if you're out there and if you've got cannabis on your manifesto and you're running in the local elections. Let me know. I will promote the crap out of you. But to the best of my knowledge, I am not aware of any local councillors running with that in their manifesto. Maybe some of the people before profit people have it because, look, they've got Gino Kenny's bill up there and what have you. So again, apologies if they do. But nobody's really shouting about it that I know of. And I probably wouldn't know about it, to be fair, if they were shouting about it. As we covered news here, I'm not seeing any positive news out there in the media. I'm not seeing any positive news coming from different councillors running, quoting maybe the recent headline in their area to be saying hey, come here, this is BS. We should be regulating this to protect these people, to make it safer. That's our job as politicians, as policymakers, to make life fucking safer, more convenient for our citizens, not be nuisances and fucking pain thorns on the side. So a little bit of civil disobedience, guys, before we start wrapping this up. Do get your comments, suggestions, silos, whatever, anything into the hot box there before we go. Might stick around there for another maybe 4 minutes and 20 seconds, yeah? We'll hit this one and maybe pack one more bowl of civil disobedience before we sign off and go enjoy the rest of the Sunday with the fam. Go for a walk with the dogs, maybe. Weather still looks good anyway. Yeah, well, Keith saying that's mad. The Irish government have no clue. They don't. Unfortunately, it does really seem that way. That they're fucking clueless at the best of times. Or you would hit to put on the tinfoil hat. Are they purposefully being ignorant and running the fucking place to the ground? I don't know. I would hope not. Mark Anthony says, hopefully that will change in the near future. Yeah, let's blaze to that, Mark. But to be honest, like, I don't know of any other politician, and I'm completely wrong. Well, I'll take it back. Luke McFlanagan has come and sat down on podcasts and had like hour plus long conversations, completely open to any questions when he came on my podcast, and I got and I was delighted to have the opportunity to interview him. There was no restrictions. Like, it was just a genuine chat between me and me. I got to ask him everything I wanted to ask him, anything that was asked of me to ask him. And he had no boundaries there. And we need more politicians like that. Uh, like, there's so many of them who wouldn't be open to coming on and having a conversation. Like, I would love to have some of the prohibitionist side of it to come on and just having an honest conversation with me. Like, I would love to have had, say, the Minister for Drugs while she was holding the role to come and have a chat with me, Hildegard Naughton, or even the current one, Colin Burke. Like, again, it's your role. You're the Minister for Drugs, National Drug Strategy. Then, like, come, let's have a chat. I'm more than happy to have you here. I'll put the kettle on or whatever it is that your drink of choice is. If you prefer water, we'll keep it cold for you and all, but if that's what you like. But I'll be completely respectful, just like I was to Ming. We can have what's the respectable disagreements. Totally, I'll respectably disagree. I'll take nothing personally. Um, but I just would never see that happening. They're not like that. They're put in their position because they can be ignorant. They can like play that stonewall. They can stonewall the likes of us within the community. Do you know, the likes of Hildegard Naughton, she was able to show up there in Croke Park that time for the launch of the report around the National Drug Strategy or something along those lines. I was above there in the day. I was really looking forward to actually getting the opportunity to put a question to her when the floor got open to questions, which I thought was going to happen on the day. But no, man, she showed up and then she said her piece, got her photos taken, and then apologised at the end of her speech as she had to run because she was the whip and, more important things than her actual ministerial duties. Politicians, yeah. I won't be one of those ones anyway. That's for sure, guys. If I am if I am to be elected, like I don't know what the rules are around, say, streaming and stuff like that from inside and in these meetings that happen in the council chambers. But I certainly will, before and after every meeting, be doing a bit of a stream. I will continue to interact with people through the Martin's World podcast, probably more through maybe the something more. Yeah, I might make something. Yeah, the Martin's World podcast will probably continue to be the place I'll get to interact with people for, just in my constituents there. And just have something more dedicated to covering the activity of the council if I was. Potentially, it could be, but I'll be shocked if I am. I'll be very honest. I will be shocked if I am. But on that shocker, this is what I would need based on the 2019 elections. If I was to be elected. What's happening here, Lee? Lisa Mingwan of the few that come across as genuine. Tis a shame. Yeah, I really hope he does get re-elected. I know a few people are kind of saying that there's a threat there that he might not get re-elected, but I really do hope that he gets re-elected. Because I do feel like he is a genuine person. He was very open and honest about like what he did in regards to cannabis in order to galvanize his political career and to have more like strength there. I suppose more of a ground to stand upon in which to make an argument for cannabis then in time to come. And which he is doing, I suppose, from Europe. He was even saying there, I know through I heard through the grapevine, that his posts over on X and Twitter, following the cannabis plant that he was growing on his balcony over there in Berlin, was probably the most interaction that he's got online. out of all these posts. Um, but yeah, I really do hope he gets re-elected, as I do think he's starting to do a lot more now these days, and in relation to cannabis. Um, and it's important that we have him there in the European level to continue that. Lisa, in her healthcare system here is a joke. Hate seeing old people on trolleys in the halls. It's either by design or pure negligence. Lee, man, I just can't understand that either. I think that the healthcare system is a joke as well, specifically the mental healthcare system. I unfortunately have first-hand experience there with one of my own kids. It's personal. It's their thing. I can't really go into the finer details of it, but unfortunately, yeah, we've had experiences there with CAMS, and we've really seen and experienced firsthand the shortcomings, the gaps, that happen there, and how again, people vulnerable fall through these gaps. And again, you do question, is this by design or pure negligence? What's going on? Like some of the experiences we've had there, we've had like members of the team, very important key members of a mental health care team missing. For months on end. Therefore, that vulnerable person is not getting the required care needed, and because of a recruitment embargo, because of issues there by your recruitment embargo, and then meanwhile, fucking we can throw fellas into prison there for years on end. At a cost of hundreds of thousands to the taxpayers without blinking an eye. But meanwhile, hospitals, mental health patients, young kids, the most vulnerable, who really need help, are not getting it because, of recruitment embargoes, money issues. You wreck. I said I can't. I really do hope I was to be elected. If not locally, yes, I really do want to get up to Dublin, because I would love to really see how that machine works from inside it, being a part of it. I really would. Lee says, yeah, it breaks my heart. It does, it really does. Because I've seen some amazing people working within that system too, and unfortunately being on the receiving end of, some kind of pissed off people too. But I have to give credit where credit's due. Like, there's some amazing people working within the health system on the ground, doing some absolutely tremendous work. But it's just unfortunately, it's a top down problem there for them. Yeah, Keith Halloran, it's our time. Mark Anthony says band aids at the ready. Go on, Mark Anthony's blazing away there as well. Mark Anthony saying that Ming has tried to push things forward for a while now, but never gained popular support in the Dáil. Yeah, he done a lot for his local community. To be fair, in the Dáil, he done a lot, and that's why he continued to get voted in above there. Um, Canvas wasn't really the thing that got him elected. But look, I hope it is the thing that not cannabis specifically, but definitely drug policy reform and better community policing. Like, they're definitely two things at the top of my agenda, along then with improvement in our health services, specifically mental health services. Other things, first-hand experiences, and there, want to see improvements there in the living wage, a living wage to be put in place for people. You know, I know too many people now who, that they make more money by not working. Just put it that way. Cash economy. Bogwan says Cork lads outside of Cork don't know if they can handle it, but they're not Martin Condon's vote number one. Right, we've another one packed up here anyway. We've a page here loaded up. I wanted to pop up on screen for you. Put this down a second more. We want to quickly just go through this of what I'd actually need. So this is based on 2019, the election results for Cork City North East. So the guys highlighted in black here are the ones who were actually elected. Ken O'Flynn got elected by the 8 count, and by the 8 count, he had 1,931 votes. He was a Fianna Fáil member at that election, it says here, but I do believe he's an independent now, and he is running contesting this election. Labour, John Maher got 10% of the first preference votes there, 1,345 in the first count, and got elected on the 10 count with 1,985. Ger Kehan, independent, 9.5% of the vote, elected on the 10 count with 1,700 votes. Joe Kavanagh, right, who said that? Jeez. Got elected on the 10 count with 1,700 votes. Oliver Moran, Green Party, Traders. Again, jeez. Jeez. Elected on the 10 count with 1,700 votes. And then finally, Workers' Party, Ted Tynan, got elected on the 10 count with 1,800 votes. So those were the 6 seats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 seats. Boom, there we go. And just for the crack, where's was mine up there? No, that's not up there. Just quickly. (2019) by-election results. I think we Dublin went west, not Cork. Cork North Central by-election. There we go. Martin Connan, there we go. 291 first preference votes. Again, guys, I'm some people might be saying, like, this guy for real, he's proud of that, man. I'm absolutely ecstatic with that. I genuinely thought I was going to get like 20, 30 votes or something like that, like the C291 first preference votes. I was delighted because what that meant is I actually didn't get eliminated on the first count. Look at this, look. I made it, not only to the second count, but to the third count before they got eliminated. Go on me, go on kid. And as I said, I beat the Workers' Party. I done the best out of all of the independents on that occasion, actually, as well. You know, just noted, just to note that. But I got 1.1% as well of the first preference votes on that one. So yeah, I was absolutely delighted at that occasion. I couldn't believe that I wasn't like eliminated on the first count. Thought I was guaranteed, but like, thanks. We'll smoke to that one. But before we smoke to that, we'll go back to those counts in a sec. We will smoke to that though. Oh yes. A little bit of civil disobedience before we start signing off. But yeah, as I was saying in that 2019 election, what I would be needing, based on this, at a minimum, to get elected, I would be needing 1,709 votes. That's what I'd be needing at a minimum. But what I really hope, guys, you know, if I really could, and it's just to send a message, you know, that drug policy reform is really needed, and that the people of Cork, especially Cork North City Northeast, that they really want drug policy reform, that we want to see more effective policing of our communities. We want to see an end to the prohibition of cannabis. Want to see better policies there around harm reduction to help those people, the most vulnerable, those people who do fall prey to drug addiction. Again, send them a strong message. Give me 2,000 first preference votes. Go on, go for it. Do it. Because if I get 2,000, I get elected first count, I believe. I could be wrong now, like, but I do believe if I was to be getting like 2,000 there, that would see me get elected. Yeah, the quota, look, 1,916. I'll pop that up there again. Look, just down the bottom there of the screen. There, 1,916 the quota. So if I was to reach the quota on based on that election, I would need 1,916. Now that could have changed since then. So as I say, look, let's just go for 2,000. Anybody, everybody in Cork, if you know anybody in Cork, if you're based above there in Tipperary, fucking Longford, bloody you're up in Armagh, or even if you're over in New York, Bobby, and you got some family member here in Cork North East who's got the power to cast a vote in the upcoming local elections, well, let them know, hey, this guy's running, and they could really use their vote as a bit of a protest. Send a message there up to the powers that be, because to be fair, look, front and central, my at the top of my policy, my agenda is going to be drug policy reform. There's going to be no hiding that. I'm not going to put that back seat in order to just get elected. Go do the thing, house, and go do the healthcare thing. No, look, the thing I'm going to be fighting for in my heart, and what I believe is really going to benefit our society, truly in a great way, is drug policy reform. And I really do believe that. Well, Mark, nice one. Says got my vote anyway, but unfortunately that's not my jurisdiction. But as I said, Mark, maybe you got friends, family, Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to come down and just go door to door with me. We had that image there. Where is it? Boom. Yeah, there's a little email on that. Martin Condon for ccne at gmail.com. So that's Martin Condon for Cork City Northeast, CCNE, at gmail.com. That was just a new email I created just specifically handle any questions, information that people wanted about the campaign, about the candidacy, about the running. That's where to direct them. Anybody want to volunteer? That's where to get in touch, or use the Martin's World ones as well. I'm terrible for Instagram and Facebook messengers though, but I'm not bad for emails. Surprisingly. But yeah, there we go. That's pretty much it. Let's pack one more. Mark Anthony says, "Sick joke, Martin. It's twisted. Fine if I'm filling myself with big pharma and drink, as long as I don't produce my own medicine." It's crazy, Mark, man, and the amount of money that's wasted on it. Then they criminalise people if they do. Look at what's going on with Patrick Moore. Like, Patrick Moore is still fucking in prison. I do believe he's still in prison. I think he's been moved now to an open prison, but I do still believe he's in prison, as Stephen Garland has been sharing the hashtag Free Patrick Moore still. I've not really been active online putting up posts and stuff like that, but I do believe he's still in prison. 25 years and still not, says Keith. Oh. He says, my granddad's wife said she would only vote for Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael, and a lot of people are like that. Yeah, no, 100%, man. I have family members myself who probably won't vote for me. Like, I know one of my uncles, anyway, specifically, will definitely vote for Fine Gael, I believe he's a strong Fine Gaeler, because fucking years ago one of them helped him out in such and such a way, blah blah blah. You know how the story goes, and they're just Fine Gaelers true and true, like, because just because it's easier than actually fucking having to put your thinking cap on and really look logically as the who it is that you're voting for and what you're voting for. But it's true, man. There's so many people like that out there, like that. They just vote for Party X because that's who they vote for, and it's who they always vote for. I wish I could vote for a party. I really do. Like, I really do. Like, and unfortunately, like, I will vote for say Solidarity, People Before Profit and stuff. I would probably give a vote to the Workers' Party, certainly. I don't think I'll be voting for Green Party. I don't think I'll be voting for Sinn Féin, Labour, Fianna Fáil, or Fine Gael. I don't. I'm sorry, I just couldn't. I'll be giving independence votes. But that'd be probably it. That's you know. Nope. Oh, thanks. Here we are, rolling up in six bells. I was saying it there a while ago. We got the news done in just over the hour. Geez, where we are half an hour later, and we're still waffling on. All good though. Blazing Sarah says I'd also substitute the word drug to cannabis because old folk think you mean the hard stuff. No, you're certainly right, but I, 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 I am. I'm not going to water it down in that sense because I have a backside of my the flyer. Let's see if I can quickly substitute it out. Oh no, I didn't save the back of the leaflet. Never mind. Anyhow, the back of the leaflet there, it included more information there about drug policy reform. So I talk a little bit about decriminalisation and regulation of cannabis. I talk about expungement of convictions for personal drug possession. So that's then when I broaden it out to drugs. So I do start with decriminalisation and regulation of cannabis. I talk about expungement of convictions for drug possession, and then go on to drug decriminalisation for all drugs in that same sentiment. So like I break them in gently because I do agree with you. Yeah, people are definitely a bit more softer towards the word cannabis than they would be to drug. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely. I did consider it, but I'm gonna leave it with a passion for drug policy reform because I'm not limited to just drugs, not just cannabis. And I've Dr. Carl Hart to thank for that a lot. Very much so, because he really opened my eyes up to how we could be stigmatic as well in doing so, and only talking about cannabis and not wanting to having a conversation about other drugs when talking about decriminalisation, regulation, and harm reduction. If we only wanted to talk about it in regards to cannabis, then we're also probably being a bit stigmatic then and saying that like, oh, it's easier to do that because these drugs are difficult to talk about because that kind of sentiment. I don't want to do that. I want to be, I want to be conscientious to other drug users when talking about drug decriminalisation and regulation and harm reduction and all that too. I'm not going to stigmatise them just to better my own position, unfortunately. And I hope you don't dislike me for that. But I do agree with you, though, definitely, that people are softer to that idea of cannabis. But my hope is that I can, with a little bit of charm, soften them up to the idea of drug policy reform. Let's see. Ba-da-da-boom. But I do love this. Do keep these views, recommendations coming in, because can only help strengthen the campaign to be hearing these views from people and stuff like that, and engaging with people. Take nothing personally. Criticize all you like, guys. But Blazing Star says, and mention more of the medical in your flyers. Yeah, I'm very limited in space, I suppose, on what I can say. So I'm hoping and I can meet more people and just have conversations in them. But I do agree with you definitely in including more in the medical on it. I'm hoping maybe in the back side of it, while I talk about that, or maybe even on the front side, maybe I can include the fact that I am an epilepsy patient and a medical cannabis user then, and unfortunately illegally so too. I haven't been able to access legally through the medical cannabis access program. But again, that's just a bit of a mouthful. It's a lot to be said there. I didn't know that I want to include that there in that, but it was thought about. Like, should I? I'm still open to this. I don't know. Maybe we might again. People get over there. Sign up to the Telegram, the 24/7 hotbox. Maybe we might engage in a brainstorming session there later on this evening or something like that. We'll see how the evening goes there for myself after we walk the dogs and what have you. Because these are going to go to print in the morning, and hopefully I'll have them off the press by the afternoon, and with me canvassing in the evening time as people get home from work and all that. Let's see. Nice one, Blazing Stars says he agrees. Or he or she, Blazing Stars, apologies for genderising the username. But you agree there totally. Nice one. Yeah. But again, guys, I know people might not be in the constituency. Just repeat there the earlier piece that you might know people in the Cork area, or you might know people who might know people in the Cork area. Just get the word around. Hey, there's a guy, has a podcast there, and he done all of this kind of stuff, and give him an old vote there. He only needs 2,000. Oh, shit. Nams. Gonna get this weird fucking electrical storm that kind of goes across, gives me a bit of a fucking half flush, and I don't know, anybody out there who has epilepsy might be able to relate, but you get this kind of weird taste and tingly sensation, like it's what's known as an aura. People normally get them before they have a seizure. Thankfully, I've not had one here, and hopefully, touch wood, I don't have one live on air. Hopefully, I've medicated enough across the show to keep it under control. But it does be worrying, all right. Like when you get those kind of flashes across, like that electrical storm kind of kicking off. Because right now, yeah, I don't think you can see it, but I've sweat rolling down from my head, and it's not because of the heat of the room, but it's because of that electrical activity that kind of flares up as an epileptic. Um, that can kind of cause hot flashes and stuff like that, and bring on these sweats. Again, as I said, people out there who suffer with epilepsy probably are able to relate to what I was saying there and what I just experienced while you were watching. While you were just watching. One sec now, I'm just going to move this doggo. Rubble is back down here at my feet. Rubble, go on, what you got? Go on, what you got? Go by. Close the door a while. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, if I can touch wood, thankfully I didn't have a seizure there live on air with yours here, good souls, and long may the ability to say that continue. Oh man. Like I'm here to medicate, as I said, across the show while I was engaging there in civil disobedience. I was also partaking in medicating using cannabis flower in order to stimulate my cannabinoid system with THC rich flower in order to prevent that surge of electrical activity that happens up above in the brain that causes seizures. For the most part, I've been successful in treating it. I've had more breakthrough seizures on the anti-epileptic drugs that were being prescribed to me than I've had when I've been successfully medicating with cannabis. My most recent breakthrough seizure happened at a time when I was actually running low in my supply of cannabis from my grower buddy. Unfortunately, my grower buddy was between harvests and the supply was low, so my dosing regimen changed a bit because you kind of had to go into a bit of a rationing phase. Um, and then even the supply line changed because while I was in rationing, sometimes you might reach out to somebody else and kind of, as I said, do you want it or not? Haze might come into effect. So you don't even know what your how you're dosing. Um, when that happens. And as I said, my most recent breakthrough seizure, where I ended up in hospital, happened at a time when I was rationing, when I was lowering the amount that I was dosing with, and that my seizures, that the one that hospitalised me there recently in the last 2 weeks, um, that happened while I was asleep. So again, because of the maybe the rationing, or maybe you wouldn't consume as much before going to bed, you have end up having a breakthrough seizure then in the morning while the endocannabinoids levels drop in the body overnight because you didn't consume as much as you might have normally consumed before going to bed. Um, at a time when the cannabis, medical cannabis, was in abundance. When you were able to follow a proper regimen there, a dosage, to keep it high enough to keep the receptors stimulated enough so that the cannabis can do as it should be doing. But yeah. I'm hoping that soon I'll be able to meet my neurologist again, and that I'll be able to have a chat with my neurologist and successfully be able to get access to a medical cannabis product through the Medical Cannabis Access Program. That'll at least ensure then that I'll be able to follow a dosage regimen and have a consistency in the supply and the quality of the medicine that I'm consuming. As I said, currently it's coming from a friend, bit of gelato and a bit of Diawana haze. Both of those coming from the black market actually that time around. As I said, the grower buddy is between harvests now, so doesn't have any to actually supply me with. But thankfully, I do have other friends who are kind of in the buy and sell side of things, and as I said, the Diawana haze, a bit of gelato. I'm not complaining at all. I am, but not about them. Not their fault. But what I am really complaining about is the Medical Cannabis Access Program. It's diabolical. Like it's not fit for purpose. I have to be a criminal because I've not been able to get access under it, despite the fact that I suffer with epilepsy, and despite the fact that it's proven to be beneficial. Not that it can cure it or anything like that, but it's definitely, as I said, it's proven to be beneficial for people with epilepsy. Yeah, Mark, you're spot on. Yeah, it's criminal. The clients can't access quality medicine. Yeah, it truly is. Especially, in my experience, I went to my neurologist and said, hey, look, I'm not having a good time with these drugs that you've been prescribing me, especially the one that people might not be aware of. It's called Keppra. Horrible drug. Had a very bad time with it. And I was like, look, but I'm using medical cannabis. I'm able to get access to cannabis, I said, on the black market. I would like to get access to it legally through the Medical Cannabis Access Program, as it's available there for people with epilepsy who've tried other drugs and they've not been successful with them, well, which, I fit that criteria. But my consultant wasn't willing to go ahead with that. So much so that consultant actually, in my experience, like failed to give me a follow-up appointment after that meeting, after I had that last one with that consultant. The last communication I got from him was they contacted my GP, said they were concerned about me because I wasn't taking any anti-epileptic drugs, because I had stopped taking the Vitmaps Max or whatever it was called. Another one because it was causing fucking cramps. It was causing some issues there. And that was a known side effect, so I just kind of stopped it. I was like, no, I'm not going to continue with this. I'm just like going to continue and hopefully be able to use cannabis successfully. And for the most part, I was. But again, issues there around consistency and supply, quality, can be issues. And it's true, it's criminal. It really is criminal that patients kind of put in that situation, especially in my situation. As it says above there in that picture there next to my head. Like I hold an honours degree in herbal science. And when I obtained that honours degree, I spent 4 years in college, and throughout that time, one of my modules was pharmacology. And for that pharmacology, just one of many projects I did throughout the 4 years there, and many different modules. But in that one, pharmacology, I did the endocannabinoid system, and specifically, I went with epilepsy. My epilepsy at that time, it wasn't as active as it is now, and it wasn't after causing me as much of an issue as it has now. It wasn't as violent. Um, but that time I done it, and I done a lot of work into it. So I've quite a bit of knowledge there as to the pharmacology of the different cannabinoids and their kind of mechanisms of action, their modes of action. In their suppression of epileptic activity. So it's it's not as if I'm some guy just coming at this as like Doctor Google or whatever. Like, no, it's actually been proper academic studies, and I got a really good result on that pharmacology project. I was quite happy with it. I think it was 70+%. Quite happy with that. That particular lecture was a tough marker as well. Oh, sweet, we've another ball packed there. Anyway. 7 more minutes to the next 20. 420. Next 420 isn't just Cape Verde is the only one. Just Cape Verde. 7 minutes. Yeah, Mark, it is. It's crazy. Like, especially when it's within their power as well. Not just the consultants, but even a GP. A GP can actually make a request to the Minister for Health for the ministerial license. And like I think they just need the support, say if it was in relation to pain, of a pain specialist, but the GP can make the request. I believe that's what went on there in the case of Alicia Marr, that it was her GP actually put in the license request, and just got it supported or something by a pain specialist or something along those lines. But I think it was the GP made the request. I think the same was in the case of Vera Toomey. It was their GP actually put in the request as well for the ministerial license. But it's a joke. It's man, we're so many years down the road and it's still not fit for purpose. It's so unacceptable. Let's send a strong message to them, come June 7th, Cork City Northeast. Lee saying here, I'm sick of buying her off the streets. I always run the risk of getting caught. Thankfully, I don't get stopped and searched as much anymore. Yeah, it's funny how that changes, really, doesn't it? You kind of just notice you don't get stopped and searched as much anymore. Because I know definitely when I drove around my Toyota Starlet anyway that time, and being a young fella driving around, wouldn't have been wearing a peak hat, but I definitely would have been wearing a hoodie or like driving around maybe in a t-shirt. Um, Getting pulled over quite often, especially when I was up around the Glen and stuff like that. But yeah, it's mad when how things change. You get a little bit older, you kind of put on a bit more scruff, and maybe you don't drive the Toyota Starlet anymore. uh, Not against Toyota Starlets, like I love that car, man. She was 1.3, the GLXi, she was a 95 one. Loved it. No weight in the car, boy, and load of power. Happy days. Mark Anthony says the system doesn't want to accept the evidence. Mark Anthony, keep with Martin. We'll bus airing it yet. We're not there, but we're getting there. Yeah, Mark, we're definitely getting there. It's not a case of if it'll ever arrive. It's when it's gonna arrive. Like, we're getting there. Change is coming. I don't know when, but it's man, we couldn't be any fucking closer now than what we ever were before. I can't help but feel that. I really can't help it. I know it's going to suck. We're going to have to deal possibly with a general election again in the coming months. And that's inevitably going to delay any potential change here in Ireland. But again, you will be seeing this face up there come that election too, if it is to be called before any change happens. If we see change before then, and if it's sufficient, if I'm happy, I won't be putting myself forward for any election if we see sufficient change before that election in regards to decriminalisation and regulation of cannabis. I wouldn't contest the general election then, but if we don't see a change by the next general election, I'll certainly be contesting it. Because we need it. And I think the desire for that change is more desired now than it ever was before. So much so, I do believe I stand a very high chance of, pardon the pun, of being elected come the next general election, because my next outing will not be just me as a nobody. It will be me having contested 2 elections come the next one, the next general election. I'll have contested a by-election and a local election. I'll have a lot more experience there in running in elections, but not only that, I'll have a lot more people know me, I suppose, a lot more publicity within the constituency. So, very high chance that come the next general election, like if I am to contest it, policy makers, if you don't want to see me run, fucking do something about the policy, and I won't run, as I said. Fix it. And then I can go work within the system here and not running elections, because to be fair, my aspirations, my hopes and dreams is not to be a politician. That's not my career. I did not go to college studying herbal science to be a politician. But I'll certainly do it in foreign policy for long enough while there to improve it and improve society, and hopefully someday, have done what I was elected to do, so I can then retire my political career and go and work in the industry then, that we all desire so much. And look, I'm completely transparent about that. Like, I'm not denying that, guys. Here I am putting it out there. Like, no denying that. I want to be elected so I can improve society, and I believe drug policy reform is the area that I really can cater towards. And I believe once I get that done, maybe mental health, if there's something there, I am very passionate about that area as well. And if there's something there that I could be focused on and doing as well at the same time, if I got those 2 things done, I want out the door. I don't want to be sticking around. I don't want to be running in future elections. I'll support anybody else out there in the community that wants to improve society as in the same passion-driven way that I'm doing so right now. Because I do believe that's who we need up there, not these career politicians, the likes of Micheál Martins, who've been around since, the dude has been around since he's been in what age? His 20s or something? Yeah. Anyhow, we didn't miss it. It's 420. Woo! James Breen, what's happening? Says, I got my vote, mate. I'll even get JJ to vote. Laugh out loud. Nice one, James. Just remember, anybody who's not registered to vote, guys, you have until tomorrow. So make sure if JJ is not registered to vote there in Cork North East, that he does so by tonight. Like, get online, go on to checktheregister.ie and fucking do it there, yeah? I'm going to blaze up a little civil disobedience here on 420 for Cape Verde, in hopes then, putting it out there to the higher powers that they're going to get as many people registered to vote in Cork City North East to support this guy. Let's do this. Nice to see you caught up, Bobby. Bobby says he just caught up there. The difference how smooth talking, how you're talking now compared to a few minutes ago is wild. I hope you're feeling okay, my dude. Yeah, no, doing okay. Sometimes I do experience just these fucking flashes, worry the shit out of my partner and stuff like that. A lot of it just mainly to do with probably stress related, I would imagine. But as you can see, making sure I'm keeping on top of the medication anyway. Keep that stuff under control. Doing pretty good there now at the moment. Again, thank God. Made a quick recovery. TG as well says got my vote. Canadians count for two, I think. Yeah, they do indeed. Lee saying here as well to stop criminalising people for cannabis would be huge for society. I'd feel so much safer. Yeah, as I said, like imagine how improved policing of our communities would be if they weren't targeting people who consumed cannabis, like for one, as well as other drugs, to be fair. Like the only people they should be targeting in a community who's using drugs are the people who are suffering from the ill effects of it, the people who are drunk or who were just too intoxicated from whatever substance they pose a risk to themselves or to somebody else. That's the only time a person should be ever arrested because of a substance they've ingested, is because they pose a risk to themselves or somebody else, not simply because they possess it. It's ridiculous. And I'm talking all drugs there. But anyhow, you see there as well recently. Actually, we'll just pop this over. So I think this is worthy of the news. This is over on my own X page over there on Martin's World X. Oh look, we're live. Go. But R420 Supplies R420 Supplies put this post up that this lady, Vivian Phelan, who's running for local election above there in the Port area, she went in, she was canvassing at a local hairdresser's, local barber's, where R420s happened to be in there getting his hair cut. And while there, he heard that she was explaining, that she was really supportive of small businesses and really standing up to them, making sure they got grants and all this, blah, blah, blah. And he says, then 20 minutes later, I was standing in my own shop door and saw the same two ladies approach my door. They hesitated for a minute, then skipped me and went in next door to a chain bookmakers. No bother at all, like going into the bookmakers, the bookies, but didn't want to go into R420 Supplies, who caters so much for our community, those who consume, cannabis. That's pretty much the primary reason that R420 Supplies exists, and it's able to do so, is able to provide an income there for Kev and his business. He has employees there, and it's a great little thing for the community, for our community. And this lady thought, it was worthy of, just avoiding it. Vivian Phelan. What a missed opportunity for Vivian. She should have really went in and had a chat with him, because she could have learned a lot, I would imagine, just given the closed-minded way in which she acted. She just, kept a little bit of no mind, went in there and chatted to one of her potential constituents. She could have had a much different post going up here and a much different reception here on the 420 News, instead of this is pretty much giving her hate here, hey, what you did wasn't nice, lady. It really wasn't. It was very discriminatory. And R420 Supplies was asking, was it because because of one of these signs? Did these put you off coming in? And mainly asked, probably about this one here about Colorado, the population of it, comparing it to the population of Ireland. And again, highlighting a missed revenue opportunity for Ireland by not following in Colorado steps and again decriminalising and regulating the supply of cannabis. But yeah, 18 plus items in the store are for adult use only. Minors must be accompanied by an adult. Fair play, Kev, mate. And then, the bottom sign actually, and almost missed that one. Alcohol kills, cannabis chills. Yeah, I'd say Aunt Vivian probably didn't like that one. She's probably gone out for a couple of glasses of wine with her buddies that evening. She felt very judged. But that's pitiful, isn't it? It really is pitiful, like that. This is the carry on out of our politicians here. Is it any wonder that they have such close-minded, behind-the-time views when they're not even willing to go in and have a conversation with a local business like Hev's, their R420 supplies. Again, that caters to the cannabis community. There's no denying what community is catered for by that shop, and that shop exists. So the cannabis community, even though we're not allowed to exist in the society, we stimulate the economy by supporting businesses like Hev's, like freaking Mad, like the Funky Skunk, like Cork Herbal Supplies. You know, the list goes on there, like where there's businesses exist mainly because they cater primarily for just the cannabis industry in the cannabis community. Sorry, in Ireland alone, in just Ireland alone, and in some of these cases in just that local area, like the Funky Skunk in Cork. Now they obviously cater to a much wider audience than just the cannabis community, and like Kev in R420 Supplies is much more focused just on the cannabis community. Um, the Funky Skunk did go to the wider drug community, and still though, like they managed to thrive for years, not just in Cork, in Dublin too. Politicians definitely walked past the door of the Funky Skunk too. Most of them, if not all of them, I would imagine. Shout out to Helen there from the Funky Skunk. You know what fucking politicians have ever really cast a shadow in your door and had a proper, honest, open, supportive conversation about you and your business. I would imagine it's none. Is there? I don't know. I don't know, but yeah. When we do waffle on, don't we? Here we are. Over an hour later now. It was just an hour ago when we finished the news. I'm glad we're here an hour later because actually I should have included R420 there within the 420 news earlier on. I should go and make a clip of that actually later and start getting active on TikTok. Again, guys, hit me up, guys. If anybody out there is good at like fucking making clips and TikToks and all of that crap and whatever, I've literally zero experience of TikTok anyway, at least. And if you're wanting to volunteer a little bit of time or educate me a little bit about like fucking how to use it a bit more effectively, hit me up anywhere. The email there on my flyer up on screen, Martin's World podcast at gmail.com, or Instagram, Facebook, and all of those messenger things as well. Although I can be a bit bad at getting back on those. Sorry. I've notifications turned off on my phone for those things. Probably a lot of people do that these days, I would imagine. But if I'm on for emails, then strangely enough, like so. There we go, another bowl of civil disobedience packed there because I see a couple of comments there, guys. We'll keep it going. TG saying I just tuned back in, laugh aloud, Jordan up the jack and smoking some jelly hash. Oh man, I said we're not green with envy here at all. No, not one bit. Lee says, I don't really have much options to vote for. Don't want to vote for the likes of Maddie McGrath, but guess I'll give it to Sinn Féin. I've lost so much hope in the system. Lee, there's so many people out there who feel like you, and hence, like, why my slogan is what it is. For those who feel unheard, you know, for those who feel unrepresented by those candidates out there who've been elected in the past. I want to bring something new. I want to be those people's voice who feel unheard within our community. You know, that there is a little hint there towards people who consume cannabis in Cork City Northeast. Look, definitely our voice has been unheard within the political sphere for a long time, but just drug users at large within that thing. But also those people who want to see our communities more effectively policed, who want their kids to be safer, and the Garda response time to be better, because unfortunately, you know, for a lot of people, it's terrible. And I can't help but think, you know, that maybe at one point in time I was getting stopped and searched by a cop, you know, they were looking for a little bit of cannabis, and meanwhile, you know, there's some old folk out there waiting for a welfare check, or you know, there's some fucking young vulnerable person who's after being attacked and needs somebody to come down and assist them. These are things the cops should be there and available to respond for. And if they're tied up on the likes of me or you looking for a bit of cannabis, that's not effective community policing at all. At all. Good to hear you're having a good day, TG. um, Nice to see the two boys there, the Canadians and the Americans, getting along anyway. Bhagwan says facts and political figures don't mix. Excuse me. Lee saying nice people in the Funky Skunk, both in Bantry and the city. Yeah, and above in Dublin too when it was up and running. I think it's closed down since. Charlene was running the store above there. Shout out to Charlene as well. But yeah, great people there working in all those Funky Skunk stores. I had great time for them throughout the years. Got to meet many great, cool people. Colourful, unique individuals through those people, and I really mean that in the best of ways. Shout out to all of them. You know who you are. But so diverse and all the different backgrounds there. Yeah. I did spend a bit of time working in one of Deep Root Gardening, which would have been a gardening supply store, also owned by the owner of Funky Skunk. So we would have done a lot of crossover work there between our store and the Funky Skunk in Cork. I worked over on Douglas Street. Worked there for well over a year, I would imagine. Yeah, but yeah, great place to work. I love that work and place, man. And shout out to anybody running a grow shop there in the city. I'll probably consider working in one again. Helena's lovely Merowans and Norse son, says Lee. Yeah, good to hear Mera and our son as well. You know, and about Jack, yeah. Lovely guy. Yeah, and I met her daughter as well, Ella. Ella actually holds, Helen's daughter actually holds the same degree as myself. And I think she actually went on further as well, and qualified as a herbal medicine practitioner, I believe. Open the correction on that, but I do believe that she done the extra time to get that license or that ability to work with patients with herbal medicine. Something I potentially will maybe go back and do in time to come, but let's get this shit over the line first. Let's just get these laws changed. Don't want to work with people with herbal medicine if I can't work with them with one of the some of the better ones out there anyway, which is the definitely cannabis and some of those psychedelic containing plant medicines too. So much knowledge there that I hope to utilize to the people's benefits someday. Boom. Nice one, Bobby. Good recommendation there from Bobby as well. Actually, YouTube Shorts, yeah, nice one. I actually have that on my list of things to do. Hence why I'll be adding those videos as well to TikTok, I suppose. So yeah, I should include YouTube Shorts there. Anybody out there who feels like, you know, you got some spare time, and you got some skills, or maybe you want to develop some skills and you want to help me, hit me up because I'm terrible, man. I can go on to edit a video, and like before I know it, like 5 hours have passed and I still haven't completed like a 20-second clip or something, like, you know. Procrastination. Be looking up, like I could spend 20-30 minutes Googling like how to do a certain task on what was I using? I was using a Sony Vegas Pro actually for a while for my video editor. Obviously, I know that's probably overkill now for YouTube Shorts or TikTok and stuff like that. But when I was editing like interviews and stuff like that, that's what I was using, Sony Vegas Pro, or I think I was using the Adobe one as well for a while. But anyhow, the revolution will be devil eyes, says Mark Anthony on TikTok. um, TGC on YouTube. I haven't much in the last while. It's so much work to make videos left. It is TG, man. It is like the time just goes like so fucking fast. I think procrastination, like as we work away, like we can kind of digress off on little tasks. But yeah, barely having time as well for normal life, and hoping to get more regular again. Though I just got to figure out an angle. And you say you want to do reviews and legal stuff, grow videos, obviously, and just talk about weed basically. But we shall see. Well, TG, man, I look forward to seeing more content from yourself. I loved your micro grow videos. I really love that. I've recommended that to so many people who say to me, oh, I just don't have the space. I'm just like, look at that. Don't tell me you don't have the space. LEDs these days as well, man, are fucking top notch for micro grows. You can have an LED in a small space and not worry too much about like cooking your plants. So yeah, space is really not an excuse for people not to grow. But yeah, reviews of legal products as well. Like that guy, Drew is sharing. That guy, he gets fucking a lot of views, especially on his YouTube shorts, and a lot of his stuff is just reviewing like fancy ass bags of weed, buying like ounces of weed for $4,000. I don't know if you've got a bit of bank, to spare. Go out there, ball and TG, and start reviewing like fucking expensive shit. But that seems to be taking off quite a bit there for him. He's doing a bit of traveling as well and doing a bit of reviewing of other stuff. But he was complaining, I think YouTube is hitting him up for promoting drug use or something. He got a taste of what they done to me there a while back. I've still not applied actually for monetization over on the YouTube yet. They demonetized me because of my channel, and it promotes the use of drugs, which it doesn't, guys. To be fair, I don't promote the use of drugs. I promote the ending of cannabis prohibition and better access to medical cannabis for patients. I'm actually not promoting the use of drugs, to be fair. If anything, if you want to say if I'm promoting drug use, I'm promoting safer drug use. I'm just acknowledging drug use is happening, and I want to make it safer for people too. But I'm not promoting the use of drugs. I'm not telling anybody to say, hey, cannabis is great and you should all be using cannabis. No, cannabis is not for everybody also. If you're here because you're already using cannabis. It's not because, you want to come here to hear me tell you try cannabis. You're here because you're probably already a consumer of cannabis. And I don't mind, am I telling people to consume cannabis? But anyhow. TG says, I want to compare legal to legacy, but especially as I grow a lot of the legacy stuff. So go on, TG. That'll be class, actually, to see some of the legacy and the legal stuff. We'd be very interested in seeing kind of what the baggage claims, how they meet up. I wonder, kind of, would you have access to testers? I'd imagine you probably do. Be scanning the old buds, kind of see what they're coming in at. Is it matching up with what's on the label? Bobby saying it would be cool to see the same strain from, yeah, exactly, yeah. The same strain from Rec and Legacy and see if there's any difference. Imagine the Legacy wins that all day, says Bobby. Yeah, you see, man, I really wish that I could be like having that perspective there, like Bobby and TG over there, like Canada and New York and stuff. To be able to compare like what a legacy market is to a legal market. I suppose if I want that, I could travel now to Amsterdam. I believe Amsterdam is probably the closest I could go, closest I could travel to, and experience that a legacy market versus a legal market. I think you can still get access to legacy market cannabis in Amsterdam versus cannabis supplied through their now legal market. So maybe I might go do that actually. We do it with you, TG. Do you want to meet me in Amsterdam? Maybe Bobby can come too. Two of you can share your vast knowledge and experience there of legacy and legacy and legal markets. weighing on Amsterdam and what they're doing. Nice to see everybody in the hot box. Keep the comments coming in, guys. I do have a bowl packed up here. I know I said that about the last bowl, and then I packed this one. I'll get through the last few comments. I'll hit this, read any more that kind of come in, and then we will sign off before the night gets any later, because I do want to get in there before the kiddies get put to bed. Because I hope I can get them out for an hour walk. Miles Chronic, hi Martin, and everyone on this beautiful day. What's happening, Miles Chronic? Whoa. TG says Victoria Cannabis Company is releasing the Roberts Creek Congo, legitimately sourced. So again, that's flying right over my head now. Roberts Creek Congo, but I did just copy that. Gonna see if I paste that, and boom, we got an image. There we go. So soulful. Roberts Creek Congo, soulful, hand picked. Yes, I'm over 21. Probably. Oh, that just looks beautiful. To be fair now, lovely orange hairs, like very well trimmed as well. At least this particular bud, like that, looks very well trimmed. Beautiful nug porn. Maybe this one a little bit closer there. Definitely a little bit extra trim there, but you get over it. Lovely, lovely frosty, nice amber trichomes there as well. Nice shading across it. Oh. Sun-grown flower as well. Oh lordy, Roberts Creek Congo. So our hand-picked offerings, cultivated by small craft farmers, represent the ethos and the traditions of Northern California's cannabis heritage. We travel far and wide and get our shoes muddy, building personal relationships with the most talented farmers in our region. I love this. This is like beautiful description there. The result is a selection of craft cannabis handpicked to deliver a level of quality you can't find anywhere else. Like, I can't help but think of that, like that description there, and then think of my the local dealer. What's that? I don't know. Oh yes. So sorry guys. Sorry, I should have knocked off my image there. Sorry, I'm missing out on some of the description up on the screen. But yeah, that's amazing. Roberts Creek, Congo, beautiful. Ah, lordy. Again, I could just. It's like we're in two different worlds, really. Like us here, in the Emerald Isle, and the guys over there in Canada and America. Like even some others, like Toto. If shout out to Toto if he's still here. Like he's over there now in Germany. We're also in Germany not too long. They might have experiences like this on offer. But for now, he can legally grow and harvest his own cannabis. I suppose the legacy market, is thriving in Germany, is what's going on there right now, and a legal market is maybe in time to follow. But yeah, this stuff soulful, handpicked, sun-grown Roberts Creek Congo. 1 gram is $11 only. $11, okay, 11. Like what's that? American dollars or whatever. Like what's $11 to euro? $11 US to euro. Is €10. Boom, €10. Let's say €10 a gram. Guys, you get this stuff to Ireland, and people are selling this easy for like you're getting probably €50 a gram. They're probably selling 3 gram bags for like they're probably selling a jar. If you got the jar over here, €150 for 3.5 grams or something. Wait, I'm not over exaggerating there either, am I? €150 probably for that jar, maybe. Probably get fellas asking you, cheeky enough, asking for two. uh, but yes, Bobby TG. Yeah, if I could have anybody in Amsterdam, I would love to have two of you as company. All right, that'd be an amazing trip. we start to go fund me if you're available, get the visas and all of that. Yeah, TG saying it, they're so expensive to review a lot. Most is shit to laugh out loud, and yeah, YouTube doesn't like it either. The bastards. Yeah, that's it. Like, you can invest some money there buying some product, and next all of a sudden you're getting shut down afterwards because you're promoting drug use. Blah blah blah. It's like fucking haters. But thank God for the likes of Rumble. I think I'm live right now over on Rumble as well. At least I should be. And they don't shut that stuff down. I do believe I'm live right now. Oh, I am live right now, actually, as we seen it there a few minutes ago on X. And I do believe they're not going to shut people down either. For like reviewing cannabis and stuff like that. At least I've not heard about it yet, anyway. So I am live on those two right now, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Fuck it, man. If YouTube want to monetize me, like it, man. They were making like the most money out of it. To be fair, man, their percentages were scandalous. They weren't too bad at times. Like, to be honest, it was handy there for some people, because they're just signed up already with YouTube Premium and all that kind of crack. And the YouTube Premium revenue was kind of handy as well if you were a YouTube Premium member and you were a viewer of the Martin's World podcast. Some of your membership contribution goes towards the shows you watch most, blah, 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 all that kind of crack. I don't get that anymore, but still, no, Patreon is still there. They haven't shut me down. PayPal is still there for people who want to support and donate the show. I have you. Boom, all that good stuff is there. So that'll be there for yourself as well, TG, no doubt. I did sign back up there again to the Streamlabs multi-streaming, hence why the multi-streaming is back up and running. €19 a month, it's worth the investment. It's handy out. As long as they don't fucking drop my stream. Touch wood. But yeah, it is educational, says Blazing Stars. 100% it is educational. I would love to be watching, to be fair, I would love to be watching more videos like Drew's videos and stuff like that. Some of the other growers' videos that are out there, showing their grows and stuff. Unfortunately, I just but I find it so hard to just put time into the campaign and then time back to the family. Don't really have much other time than for anything else, really. I'd love to be out doing a bit of fishing as well. But I haven't really got out to do that either. Too dedicated to the cause and the campaign. But yeah. Bobby says, if you find the Drew's Pheno, I'll Venmo you. Just buy it. I'd love to know your opinion of that one. He's asking TG for that, I'd say. He says, definitely will snag it if and when I see it. Go on, TG. Legends. Two boys, you should have a meet up there and do a live over on TG's channel. Zoom me in. A couple of weeks there, we'll have some of that blackout Bobby floating it around. Can compare to the legacy market of Ireland. I'll get some posted over, Chi. TG going on says, yep, I want to do that with Congo. Some friends of mine hold her, so I want to get some and smoke them side by side. Lovely. That's one of the big problems about legal weed. It might be good weed, but is it true to the profile that it's supposed to have? If you don't know what Chemdog is supposed to taste and feel like, yeah, 100% TG, exactly, yeah, great point. They can stick a label on it, call it, Chemdog, but if you don't know what Chemdog is, how can you really judge what you have as actually being true to what Chemdog should be? So it's so true. And I'll put my hands up and I will definitely say, like, I don't know what a true Chemdog is because, unfortunately, look, we've been over here and we've not been able to benefit. So I don't take any shame in having to make that admission. But I wish I can change that someday. What was cool over in Spanibus was some of the terp dealers. There was like terp profile dealers over there, and they had like different terp profiles available in these little like 1 milliliter or less jars. Expensive stuff, man. There's these terps war because of the amount you get and the amount you have to grow to get it, like, and all this kind of crack. Can be quite expensive to get the terps and what have you, if they're getting them from natural sources. But the profiles they had of them were very nice. again, how can you know if it's really true to what it's saying it is, and some of them were just straight up, literally, like strawberry profile, strawberry punch, or critical orange, lemon skunk. It's like simple profiles. But something like Chemdog, something like New York Diesel, I would love to know if they could have something like that and have it true to profile. Yeah, that'd be cool to be able to get access to that. And just so you could have it then as well, like, so a person could compare it to what a grower has as well. That'd be cool. I'd have to come up with like a certified, like, um, profilers, we'll certify a vial. It'll be certified as what's it called? A standard. That's it, a standard. Like how you calibrate stuff. So we can have like a certification there to make sure that people are like growing true Chemdog profiles, true New York Diesel profiles. There you go, guys. That's a free idea for anybody to take. I'm too busy over here running in elections to do anything with that one. Just yet, anyway. TG saying Congo was a cull from a breeder called Vision Creator on the west coast, originally from a Spanish breeder called Le Mano Negro. So there you go, guys. TG dropping the knowledge there. Again, I'll put my hands up and say, like, I'm totally fucking in the dark about like a lot of the breeders and stuff like that. Some of the people behind some of the famous strains and things. Just because, unfortunately, I just put way too much time into the campaign and I didn't really get to explore more my real passion in the cannabis industry and the cannabis plant and the people who are working with it and developing it around the world. I would really love to be putting more time into that, but unfortunately too busy just fucking fighting the law. And hopefully I'll win. Oh yes, bottle of water to the rescue. Lee says, enjoy the bowls, Martin. Catch you later, Lee, if you're after bunksing out. Nice one for the comments throughout the show. We will start saying goodbye again. As I said, I know I'm digressing. There's loads of comments to get through here. I'm loving it. It's great to see so much interaction there. And I'm glad that you're all enjoying it there as well. Bobby saying here, I know Bubble Man was always talking about the red Congolese, but he's never had it. I've never had it either. And lo and behold, look at the QTG says, yeah, the red Congo is different, not as nice in my opinion. Lucky TG. Spoiled. Again, I'm not green with envy at all. No, definitely not green with envy. But I'm absolutely delighted that you are sharing your knowledge and wisdom with myself and the others in the hot box. It's great to have an international audience like so. I really do hope we can set up, that fucking portal thing that was going on. I can pop that up and screen the portal. Most of you probably know what I'm on about, the portal in Dublin. They had to close it. Sorry we mooned you. Rest in peace notice left at Dublin portal after temporary closure. So they opened the portal above in Dublin. I said Dublin. NYC, boom, and then hit videos. Oh yes. Oh, this guy's fairly funny.
Be shut down after just over a week because Irish people. The Dublin visual portal to New York has had to be shut down after just over a week because Irish people can't behave themselves. New York is one of the biggest, most densely populated cities on the planet. Dublin is a small European city on a tiny island nation with a small population, and we're the ones causing the problems. Irish people are like children. We cannot be trusted with what is essentially a webcam in broad daylight for a week. The county council have shut it down to put measures in place to stop people
Yes.
from exposing themselves or trying to make the people of New York cry. I don't know how exactly they're going to stop that. Maybe they're just going to make the camera really blurry. All the New Yorkers can see is a load of friendly looking Irish blobs who may or may not have their arse out. It's a shame because there's been a lot of lovely moments at the portal. If you're one of the people ruining it, grow the fuck up. Have a bit of pride in yourself, your family and your country. Let us have something nice, have a bit Irish pride and follow me. I'm delicious.
Cop on,
The
guys.
dub-
Have a bit of cop on. Yeah, so if you haven't ever followed seen that guy's videos, you're welcome. He's fucking hilarious, to be fair. Some of his videos there are just so they're just so funny. But I'm glad he has one there in the portal, and I just came across it, and hopefully I might have just introduced you to somebody who's definitely worth a follow, because he does have some fucking funny content, and 1 minute long, 2 minute long, and he's sexy. I don't know, he's delicious, isn't it? He's delicious. Yes, I love his videos. But the portal, anyway, go back to the point. Sorry, tangent stoners. We're terrible, aren't we? I hope maybe in the coming days, weeks, to establish maybe a portal of some form here in Cork and in New York. I've been chatting with somebody who's over in New York, and there's maybe the opportunity to set something up again between Cork and New York, and it's going to be specifically being set up as, like, I suppose, a bit of a protest, really, to highlight the fact that in New York, personal possession of cannabis is no longer a criminal thing. The consumption of cannabis is no longer going to get you locked up and like treated like a criminal, and your opportunity is taken away. Here in Ireland, unfortunately, in Cork still is, hence why I'm here engaging in civil disobedience on the podcast, and I'm going to do all of this stuff and running elections and all of that and all of that. So we are going to highlight that with the portal between Cork and New York, if we can establish it. Hopefully we won't get too many people down there flashing their arse. Yes. I see TG says for sure anyway that he'll just have to re-up the passport for that trip. Excellent. Bobby says I've been buying that do-si-do for $140 an ounce. Mad. Yeah, there you go. Prohibition, all right. Yeah, those in Prohibition land are to blame for sure. TG. Blazing Stairs says educational to YouTube. I meant change your setting. You're allowed to express a view. Yeah, I might get back onto him and put in an like a reapply for the monetization some stage, but yeah. Not too pushed really at the moment. Like, I wasn't really relying on it as such. It was very nice of people who did support the show and all of that, like, but I was more than happy to be like paying for it myself. It was like a small price I'm more than happy to pay, but those who support through Patreon still, those who've been supporting over on PayPal and all of that stuff as well, it definitely does make it that bit easier. Especially when you got 4 kids. Yeah. It just reminds me, actually, I must fucking pay for that website there again. Don't any of you be stealing it. We won't let it lapse, though. Bobby says a lot of these exotic strains I sent have some serious lineage to them. More California stuff, but you guys are smoking great over there. It all works, just different flavors and vibes. And I definitely will, again, re-emphasize what Bobby has done for the Irish scene over here and his contributions to some of the souvenir seed collectors. Definitely not the Irish cannabis growers, which there is nobody here grows cannabis and breaks the law. Jeez, God forbid. But yeah, if there was, and they were posting it over in like maybe the hot box, jeez, it would be amazing. Yeah, a lot of really good genetics. Grandmaster Sexy, Blackout Bobby. That holiday special, actually, I had some nice lineage there as well. Always Pop Quicks was popped there as well by a friend recently that had some red runts with cereal milk, I believe was the lineage there between that one. Yeah, do believe there's some others that are very close to coming down there as well, up the country. In another country over in Germany, up that country. Yeah, Bobby's yeah, legend. Bobby definitely he was selfish in what he was doing. He did it because he just wanted to see some great pictures of great plants, of which and which there was many. Absolute legend, selfish legend. Continue being selfish, Bobby. Those Irish seed soon collectors, they won't disappoint. Barry Field says, "What's a grower?" It's a person who helps plant an idea out there in the community, and that idea, grows. That person could be considered a grower. No shame in being a grower these days. Barry says, "Sounds strange." Bobby for sainthood as well, says Mark. Go on, Mark. I'll second that. Saint Bobby, the patron saint of seeds. Yes. Um, but yeah, that Port Lloyd anyway, as I said, guys, we'll try to make that happen between Cork and New York over the coming weeks. I do believe it'll be a great opportunity to really highlight the disparity there between Cork and New York. We have a lot of Irish people over in New York who go to New York regularly as well. There's a strong Irish connection there between Ireland and New York. Um, so I think we should really play on that, but also again highlight the fact that hey, they don't treat people who consume cannabis over there like criminals. In fact, they actually allow them to buy cannabis and stimulate the economy, create jobs, and all of that stuff. So let's make that happen anyway. Should be fun. Doesn't have to be big and fancy like the one they had above there in Dublin. Even if it's literally just going down there with a tripod, a webcam, a fucking hotspot, like a good quality hotspot, a bong, and a couple of plants. I'm more than happy to go with even just that. Anybody who wants to come and join us and contribute, bring along their own joints, bring along their own bongs, bring along their own plants, maybe. It's an open invite to everybody out there. Dates, location to be announced. Should be fun. Hopefully we can make it happen before the 7th of June. 7th of June, keep in mind, is only just under, what's that, 3 weeks away, less than 3 weeks away, like. So yeah, let's if I can try to make it happen before then. I'm not too sure what my hotspot's like on mine, but anybody out there who's got a really good fucking high speed hotspot wants to come down and partake on the day, if it's even just to turn on your hotspot, shake me shout. Helping hands, many hands make light work and all that, yeah. Barry Field says they're going to extradite you like Mark Emery. Oh no. Hopefully the guard ain't waiting for me. No, we'll make sure that don't happen, Bobby, but we make sure that don't happen. I'll never let him do that. Massive campaign here. Leave Bobby alone. Bobby for Irish patron sainthood. Make you a patron saint, but you'll be up there like Patrick. Patrick got the snakes out of Ireland. You got the good cannabis. Definitely worthy of my eyes. I think those things are on par, And the truly funny part, yeah, it's not illegal. It's not illegal. Yeah. And long may that continue. Let's hope they don't fucking change that. You ran about sending the seeds there, like sending the seeds is completely legal. Because, like, again, they're souvenirs. You can't be held responsible for what the people do on the other side as well. Like, you're not sending them with the intent that they grow them. No, definitely not. That they store them and hold them until a time in which it's legal here to grow them. Yeah. Yeah. TG saying here, you're talking seeds, Bobby. You can still export even after they legalized? Question mark. Yeah, I think that the whole thing was with like Mark Emery that time. Mark Emery exported, I believe it was from Canada into a certain states in America, and those states actually like were like really strictly illegal. I think his seeds were associated with like some big grows that were busted as well, and they kind of blamed him then as well. They kind of put responsibility on Mark Emery for providing seeds to those illegal growers in that state. So I do believe that that made up a part of the case against Mark Emery and his successful extradition that time from Canada to the US. We had him here in Ireland. Got to meet Mark Emery. I know Miles Chronic saying here, Mark is actually, yeah, there's definitely been questionable stories and stuff, but there's no denying that the guy done a lot for cannabis anyway. And we leave all the other kind of stuff aside for now. But yeah, I see TG there as well saying Emery's a douche and a terrible person. Yeah, you see, he wasn't at that time when we got to meet him. We got to see the side of Mark at the time, who was like a really fun, nice guy. He was with Jodie at the time. Their relationship was going great and everything like that. There was no real questions about him and stuff. And I can't help but like have had just such a positive experience with him and really been supportive of his story. But yeah, definitely, I can see the douchey side of it now, given everything after the fact and stories that have come out and all of that. But yeah. But anyhow, yeah, his extradition sucked. It doesn't change the fact that the guy is definitely a bit of a douche and terrible person. You could meet a few skeletons in that closet. Now, what is it Barry saying? Yeah, could be me maybe. Is that what you're saying? Could be me with a few skeletons in that closet. What are you trying to say there, Barry? Oh, really? Yeah, dark and all right. Nice one for that, TG. I might maybe put that on to listen to a list sometime there. Podcast with Pete Young in Breeders Syndicate. I actually only just started following those guys Breeders Syndicate recently. As I say, I kind of becoming aware as to how much I don't know about like that scene. I want to become more educated, not just for myself, but as well for what I put out here on the Martin's World podcast. I would like to become a bit more informed about the breeders and all of that kind of stuff as well. So I did follow them. So that's definitely one I'll have on my to listen list. Pete Young, Dark Enemy, it's called. Is that what the name of the episode is? Miles Chronic here, who is already a listener of the Breeder Syndicate. Good to hear. Calling out shitty seed companies. Good. That's important, man, because I will say this without pointing fingers. There is definitely seed producers out there that aren't seed breeders. They'll produce something and call it something and sell it as such, and they've no shame in doing so, but then you grow it and then you see it's actually not really anywhere close to what it should have been. Maybe it might be slightly close, but it lacks a lot. Because they really haven't nailed down their phenos and all of that stuff, and a lot of them are just resellers of seeds as well. They buy from a mass producer of certain seeds, and some of them no fucking shame and relabel them as something else. They might buy fucking a lemon skunk from something and then just change it to lemon haze or something, just call it something new, and just, I'm not going to name names, I'm not into that right now. Just because, look, fucking, I don't want to get into that, but there is a lot of that goes on out there. But as I said, I'm trying to educate myself more about the actual seed breeders out there now and learn more about that, so I can speak more strongly about that then when I do choose to speak about it. Right, jeez, man, here we are. We're nearly 3 hours. Jeez. Oh, such a waffler. But guys, thanks for listening. Honestly, I really do appreciate it. And the comments are still flowing in. I love this. It's great. Still have a bowl here. I'm waffling away. I've not hit this bowl yet. Lee says, I stick to Dutch Passion, their line of seats. Yeah, Dutch Passion. I definitely heard criticisms of them back when I was working in deep root gardening. I heard a lot of complaints about hermaphrodites from them, but then again, those people who complain about them, you kind of wonder how much it was maybe the growers kind of infecting the hermaphrodites there as well. But I suppose a lot of that comes down to the genetics there as well. Bad genetics along with bad growers definitely going to produce a higher percentage of hermaphrodites. Sometimes good genetics can tolerate a bad grower and maybe not harmy on a person as well. So I will say that. But I've definitely seen Dutch Passion done Dutch Passion myself before, and had really good results. Barney Seed Farm as well. I was quite happy with some of theirs. But again, heard many complaints about Barney's. Mad Dog's saying, check out Marco and Brian on Future Cannabis Project on Wednesdays at 9 as well. Yeah, I'm actually a subscriber of theirs, and that's one I do tend to check into from time to time. Really want to try Dutch Passion's Strawberry Deluxe. Nice. Man, anything fruity really to me. It's so disappointing though. They'll call it Strawberry Deluxe, and next you get it, and there's no strawberry. They'll call it lemon this, orange that, and you get it. No lemon, no orange. So disappointing. Like, agree, disagree? I just, it's just, don't call it such if it doesn't taste anything like it. Like, for me, I suppose, in saying that then as well, like, I had GMO recently, and initially on first trying it after it was just freshly harvested and dried, the garlicky part, the mushroomy part really wasn't there. There was definitely a bit of a kind of a garlicky onion to it a little bit maybe, not so much. But what really became apparent after like a week or two in a jar was the mushroom. Man, the forest floor odor just took off inside in there, like, and it was just really a very mushroomy, with that garlicky oniony vibe there as well. Like, but not as much as I would have liked the garlicky onion to be there, but the mushroom was undeniable. But it took a bit of curing. But yeah, certain strains we only ever got samples of, didn't get the pleasure of curing. They don't deliver on the taste. I have to give a big shout out as well to Green Tea, who's probably not in the audience right now. I've not seen her in the hot box anyway, but Green Tea gave me a sample of some I believe it was double banana punch. And man, did it deliver on the banana flavour. I was well impressed. Let's go with this gelato here anyways. I've been just sitting here holding this for the last 20 minutes or so. When I call on any other politician to show me your ability to take a bong hit like that. Hashtag the bong challenge. LE24. Hashtag LE24 bong challenge local elections. You get a trend going. Taking hit CBD too, like, there's no shame in it. Like, come on, it doesn't have to be some high strength gelato. Lee says he's read that lemon strains reduce anxiety. So we'll try a nice lemon strain next time. Yeah, I've actually been a big proponent of aromatherapy. I should really restock. Excuse me. Delayed reaction. Vrad could be well able for the bong. I'd say, yeah, I'm not even going to go there with the gay in just on what he might be even better at, but you know, you know. Sorry, I lost where I was there. Anyhow, oh yes, I had a nice collection of different essential oils. So I was a big proponent of aromatherapy, essential oil diffusers and stuff like that. Love that. Yeah. um, so yeah, the lemon strain. Yeah, sorry, that's why I was on about the aromatherapy. The lemon strain. I really love the orange. Actually, I found the orange when it was being released into the room, just to be very, I don't know, very relaxing or something. But that's just me, my preference. I really like oranges as well. But yeah, orange essential oil. Definitely recommend that, and you can get lemon essential oil as well. And if you use that alongside of your cannabis too, if you have an essential oil diffuser. And you know, you happen to get if you're lucky enough to get a lemon strain, happy days. But if you don't have a lemon strain and you use that alongside some cannabis anyhow, boom, there you go. Like, you're adding that synergy of what you would be looking for from that lemon cannabis strain from the lemon essential oils. You know, there you go. That one's for free from Martin, the herbal scientist. uh, Getting some use out of that honors degree. um, Miles Chronic says going to roll up some shark. Nice, happy days. Bobby says I'm trying to find where I can get you some of her stuff. Whose stuff is that now? Oh, is that the Hulkberry? Is it maybe? TG saying I do intend to send a pack of souvenirs over there soon as well. Infest the island with species 8472. Well, TG, I'm more than happy to assist you in that task. Bobby O'Brien there can stand for my ability to distribute seeds across the island to very good keepers of such. And having received species 8472 before, man, oh geez, man, would I be a happy boy to be on the receiving end of that again? Oh boy. But no doubt, man, you've had some amazing stuff there as well pop up over the last while. What was that other one you've been talking about as well? Your Romulan. You've me very curious about that Romulan. Which you're probably one of few growers I actually follow online. Actually, TG. And no offense to other growers, it's just I when I get time, like. Miles chronic hermaphrodites. Yeah, something about citrus strains I've heard. I have to head out anyway. Have a lovely day, everyone. Yeah, Lee, we're going to be signing off here. I just hit that ball. I'm literally just getting through the last of those comments flying in. Miles Chronic says Romulan is old school and great genetics. Glad to hear that you've had the experience there as well, Miles Chronic. Now you've only tickled my interest even further. He says Romulan is on the way, pollination probably tomorrow or early this week. Excellent. Look forward to watching that progress along. And I certainly do recommend everybody else, if you're not already following Temple Grower, guys, give them a follow over on the YouTube and on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days. Great place to get educated and to follow a great grower who's doing some cool things. He's pollinating, as he just mentioned there, so he's crossing plants, like producing seeds, making babies, cannabis babies. So what's not to love there? Yes, loving her eyes, love it. Loving in her eyes. Underscore underscores there. Nice one, Bobby. Um, Mark Anthony, yeah, have a great evening, all mals. Chronic says, I'll have a look, TG, nice one. TG saying not an original clone, obviously, but sourced from next gen seeds, so as close to as you can get in his opinion. So boom, there you go. And I'll trust TG's word on that anyway. The guy's definitely got a lot of experience and knowledge. So if he says it's as close to as you're going to get, it's close to as you're going to get without going to an original clone, which was, as he says, it's not an original clone, obviously. So I'm assuming it's obviously not available. Yeah. So boom, there you go. So hopefully, guys, in time to come, as these seeds do land in Ireland and get distributed, hopefully the people, the souvenir collectors, will be able to help those things flourish and spread even further as those seeds that do arrive from TG, they will be natural seeds, so they won't be feminized, I believe. I know TG, you probably can feminize them, hit them with that silver and all that crack. But I would imagine these are probably going to be regular, so male and female. So you'll be keeping an eye out for those balls, guys, unless you want to be making seeds of your own. When it's legal to do so, of course. Unless you're in Germany. Shout out to Toto. But yeah, I'm right in saying that it is natural anyway, yeah? Regular seeds, not feminized. Yeah, these are eggs. Yeah, nice. That's kind of what you want, though, really, to be spreading around. At least in my experience, like in from my perspective, yeah. I could understand the benefit there of feminized and autoflower and all of that for a person who wouldn't want to maybe go pheno hunting and all of that stuff as well. I would be very much interested in that. That's why I would be very interested in getting my hands on like some good souvenirs there on natural genetics. And when the time is right, then go pheno hunting. Is that's what it's all about, really? Then, like, if you really want to truly be a grower as such, like, that's where I would really want to be anyway. Martin's craft genetics, or Martin's craft cannabis. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, but guys, everybody, yeah, look, it's been an absolute amazing evening there with yourselves. Much longer than I expected. I thought there like we were finishing up 2 hours ago. Finishing with the news. I was thinking, yeah, we stick around for a half hour, have a bit of a chat. But here we are, 2 hours later. That's because you guys are amazing. So thanks very much. Again, a final reminder to anybody who knows anybody or who might be living in Cork North East and has the ability to vote. Coming up on June 7th, you can vote for me. Or they can vote for me. If you can't vote and you know somebody who lives in the area, make sure you tell them vote for me. All I'm aiming for, look, is 2,000 first preference votes, like, and we'll send a strong message. I'll get elected on first count. That'll blow them away. That'll blow me away. I'll sit down. I'll make sure I'm sitting just in case I get floored. Imagine. Jeez. Crazier things have happened, I suppose. But guys, I will be canvassing across Cork Northeast, which we popped up on screen there earlier on. Do I still have that page open? I do still have that page open, actually. So just finally, if anybody is in Cork Northeast, in that little box up here in the top corner. Boom, that one. I'll be doing a bit of canvassing across that area over the next, what actually is it, 2 weeks? 2 weeks and 5 days. So that's 21, no, not 21 days. That would be 3 weeks, wouldn't it? That would be 19 days. So 19 days left from today. So tomorrow there'll be 18 until polling day. So over that period, I will be doing a bit of canvassing right across that area. And as I said, I do hope as well to set up that portal in an area around Cork. Who knows? It might be in the city, or it might be at an undisclosed location. We do it secretly. Who knows? We'll see. But we hopefully will do it within that time period as well before polling day. Just to maximise the amplification of the message there in regards to cannabis decriminalisation and regulation and the benefits that would bring, and the nonsense it is, continuing with the fucking policy of prohibition. So shout out to anybody in that area if you want to help me, if you want me to come to your area, if you believe there's people there in your area that I should go and knock at their door because you believe I could convince them to vote for me. I certainly want to hear from you, because your knowledge of your area is going to be much better than my knowledge of your area, of course. So that knowledge is going to be invaluable to me. So if you happen to be watching this, or if you happen to know somebody in a certain area around Cork, in that constituency, around Montenotte, Mayfield, Ballyvlan, The Glen, Blackpool, Glanmire, and out into White's Cross and stuff like that, do let me know. Let me know that this is an important address to call by, because you could win a vote there. That's invaluable information to me. Like, I couldn't put a price on that. So do help me out if you can. You absolute legends. Yeah, do love and appreciate all the support that comes in for the show. Honestly, like, there's 23 of you on there right now, which is class. Fair play to you guys. Thanks. I'm just happy that number isn't like 0. That to me means my message is reaching people out there, and hopefully those people as well will hit that like and share button and tell other people about me and help spread and amplify the message even further. It's not about me, it's about the message, about the campaign. That's why I do this. So, yeah. Miles Chronic says, knock on my door and we'll have a good smoke, but I'm not in Cork. Miles Chronic, we'll make that happen, mate. Definitely will make that happen. TG says, cheers all, thanks for the chat and good luck, Martin, for sure. Yes, nice one, TG. Can do it, definitely all the luck that can come my way. Peace out, Bobby. He says, peace out, Cubs go. Yeah, so that's all the good boys coming in there anyway. Legends, nice one, guys. Nice one, everybody, for all the comments across the 3 hours. Nice one for all the recommendations and everything like that that's come in, guys. You're legends. Do hit me up if I can come visit your area, if you can help me in any way. Again, it's fucking it's worth repeating and repeating some more. Catch you all soon anyway, guys. We'll be back with more 420 news. Most likely next weekend. We'll see what happens next Saturday. Keep an eye out. I will aim to schedule a stream as early as I can commit to it. But do certainly keep an eye out for next weekend, and for maybe some impromptu streams happening as well across the week on the different social media outlets. I might use the Facebook one that I was using for canvassing, and maybe share some of those videos back onto the YouTube and stuff like that as well afterwards. But while I'm out canvassing, I do intend to do a couple of live videos as well while out in the out in the campaign trail. Man, this is shy. I just never thought I'd find myself fucking running an election. I mind having a podcast as well. Like, it's kind of mad stuff. Like, it's like, but it's true. It's like, man, just don't think about these things. If I was to sit and think about doing these things, I would have never have done them. The only thing I really thought about is the benefits it was going to bring, and I just done it. I didn't think about like how awkward it was going to be, how embarrassing it was going to be, how hard it was going to be. Just there's going to be a benefit. Let's fucking do this. Same with running in an election. Mad. Don't think about it. Just do it. But yeah, guys, catch you all during the week, catch you all at the weekend. Much appreciated again, everybody's support for the show, and stay blessed, keep it lit, much love, peace, bye. Fucking long Irish, good boys.